Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! Up you wake, up you wake, up you wake, up you wake! This is Mr. Senior Love Daddy, your voice of choice. The world's only 12-hour strong man on the air. Here on We Love
Films
108 FM. The last on your dial, but first in your hearts. And that's the truth. Root. Here I am. Am I here? You know it. You know. This is Mr. Senior Love Daddy doing the nasty to your ears to the nasty. Eyes only play the platters that matter, the matters they platter. And that's the Root.
From the heart of Bed-Stuy, you're listening to We Love
Films.
Doing the yin and the yang, the hip and the hop, the stupid fresh thing, the flippity flop.
Movies. We watch movies. You listen to us talk about movies that we watched without you.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Now this is podcasting.
And then Miss Misery, I think, is on. I think he was nominated for an Oscar, or maybe Golden Globes, for Miss Misery.
In Misery?
No, in Good Will Huntings.
You know that song In Misery?
How do you like them apples?
Hey, I'm gonna hit you in the foot with a hammer.
Clog, 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 clog.
Da, da, da. We're telling the story of mercy.
Dude, they could totally do that, like redo that movie with today's like YouTube.
Squish
I guess
feet,
they
feet.
that one movie is sort of similar. The Ingrid Goes West.
Mm-hmm.
They could totally do Misery again, like make it like a modern, maybe like a YouTube personality or podcast personality. You know,
Modern version of Misery.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it'd be like an hour and a half of gotta get to my cell phone.
Yeah.
It's just so it's kind of
Yeah, that might not be a good idea.
With how connected we are these days, it's hard to make movies like that.
Yeah,
well,
but-
if you're out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
no cell phone.
Oh, my phone is dead. Oh, there are no bars. I don't get any reception.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's all you gotta
hey,
do.
Kathy.
It's one scene.
Hey Kathy, while I'm like just in bed, can I like be on the Wi-Fi or something?
What's your password? I like that in horror movies. They always have to have you be disconnected to your phone, which is the scariest thing I could possibly imagine in
It's pretty
today's
scary.
society.
Just hearing you say that.
They should make a
Gives
movie
me shivers.
about someone who doesn't know directions and their phone dies while they're on the middle of the highway. That is true horror.
I just drive straight into the median.
It's fine.
I don't know where I'm going.
I can't figure it out. Where am I going? I don't know anymore. So we ready to start?
Yeah, let's start.
All right. Joe Lecce's looking at us weird. F you, Joe Lecce.
Uh-oh.
F you.
Spencer left.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go look at him strangely.
No, he wasn't really looking at us.
Okay.
It's all good. Don't worry. This is Super Films Cast 64 for the week of December 17th, 2017, the year of our Lord, baby Jesus Christ.
Boss baby.
Boss baby Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
This is Super Films Cast 64. We talk about movies and films. And to my immediate front, we have Adam Fullerton.
Assad.
And we have Spencer Hall.
Hi.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good.
Oh, we're doing great.
Just
I'm
great.
I'm a little bit burpy, so if
Yeah.
I lean away from the mic a bunch, that's why.
It's all good. Just, you're good, man.
Mint
Just,
chocolate chip.
Spencer
Ooh.
moves away from the
Milkshake.
mic to take a breath,
yeah.
like Tezonde.
I've been kind of coffee, so
But- But doesn't Tezonde inhale sing? So that's why he moves
That-
away from the mic?
He's got to take a breath.
Chocolate. Something like that. I'm not going to go on. We all know how the song goes.
please, if you are listening to this right now and you've never listened to our podcast before, because we're talking about Star Wars The Last Jedi, please go into the description of this podcast, wherever you might be looking on YouTube or iTunes or whatever, and look at the time codes. We will time code, because we're going to do full spoilers, but we will time code when we start. We'll talk kind of a non-spoiler for a few minutes, and then we'll go into spoilers. I'll have times marked when we go into spoilers and when we're done with spoilers. So
And-
Just be warned.
And we're going to be talking about other stuff before we
Yes.
get into Star Wars. So if you want to jump ahead, you can. But
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of movie news and other things that we're going to be talking about that you should listen to. But we realize your time is very important.
Your time
Yeah,
is important.
We all have amazing personalities, and we're just really funny. And so
Well,
check out the rest after you listen
Yeah.
to Star Wars if you're so inclined.
one of us actually won an award for being funny.
That's true.
Yes.
What?
Who is it? Which one? It's
Well,
not me.
Well, I think it's Adam.
Yeah?
Mhm. I don't.
Oh.
Did I win an award? Is
Well,
that what
you
I
were
did?
nominated for an award and you won a
And I
competition
won a
What a
competition.
competition.
in which you got a championship belt,
Yes.
I did.
which can be
With a
considered
big
an
W
award.
on it for winner.
I couldn't do it without the SFC 64 fans. You guys supported me every step of the way, monetarily, emotionally. Thank you very much.
That was a beautiful speech. Way to leave Heather out of that speech, though. She's going to be upset about that.
Yeah, she listens to this all the time.
She should. She should. I
He
think she
could
should.
have
She would like it.
done that 2-person routine
Yeah.
solo if he'd really wanted to.
He probably, that's what he was telling me afterward. He's like, dude, I don't need her. I don't need
Not
Heather.
needed.
Not needed at all.
I can do it on my own.
Just, no, don't even need it. One person show. That's the Adam show. Anyway.
In my dreams.
Hey, Trey,
Yeah.
let's switch things up. What have you been watching this week?
Oh, I watched Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Oh,
Spencer,
very cool.
that's about it.
That's it?
because I've been doing a lot of busy stuff. I've been working and doing podcasts. I'm doing podcasts on, it's like the gift of the Magi. I want to do the podcast, but I got no time to watch the movies or play the games that I'm talking about on the podcasts.
Well, that's at least you watched the one we're reviewing
Yes.
this week.
I watched that one.
At least you didn't shave your head.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I like
either.
in The Gift of the Magi that the lady sells her hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good it's a good thing.
You know,
She's just like take my hair.
when I was in high school, I had really long hair, and I cut it the summer before college with the intention of donating it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found out this past weekend that my dad still has that hair in a bag.
In a bag.
Yep.
Did you ask him what he's planning to do with it?
Clone him.
No, I know what he's planning on doing with it.
What?
It's a
Voodoo?
long story. It would require us another podcast. So next week, tune in for Spencer's hair project talk.
He planted it in the backyard, and he's growing a new, better son.
Oh, no.
Y'all ever watch Hey Arnold?
Yeah.
He's got his closet.
Something a little bit like that Helga shrine that she's
Ooh.
got for Arnie.
Gotcha.
He has a shrine of you.
I think so. He's got my baby teeth too.
Oh,
But
there you go.
apparently most Lexi's parents also have kept their baby teeth. I think
That's
that's a
insane.
parent. That's a parent thing.
Hey, parents, let things go. Don't keep your kids' teeth. What are you going to do with them ever?
Look back fondly on when they were just little babies.
My
Loose teeth are pretty
Yeah,
gross.
they are.
It's strange to think about.
Like, I remember just sitting in class and just twisting my tooth around in
Yes.
circles.
Oh
Yeah, like, why would I do that? That's disgusting.
God.
Do you have dreams where your teeth just fall out?
Oh, no, I don't, but you know what that means?
What?
It means you feel powerless in your job.
I don't. All right, I don't have that. Yeah. Wow. Adam's trying to give me signs.
That's not. That's
true.
100% what
That's
that dream
true.
means.
I get dreams where I'm taking gum out of my mouth. Do you ever get that? What does that
Oh,
mean?
I don't know what that means.
Gum out of my teeth. Like it's all stuck in my teeth. I'm pulling the gum out of my
Mm.
teeth. I get that.
In high school, I would have dreams all the time about me getting my shoes dirty,
Yeah.
and I never found out what it mean, but I had to assume it meant that I've been in a relationship with someone I don't want to be with because she stinks.
Wow.
That's my only assumption.
You know what? Speaking of your wife,
this
Whoa.
was
why isn't Leslie here? Leslie was going to talk about relationship advice on the podcast. Like she was talking about that all night last night.
Well, I kind of made the executive decision that having two best friends sitting in studio, they would be chatty the whole time.
Right.
And as much as we love them, and I love them both, it would be very distracting.
Okay.
And it would keep our loving listeners from Star Wars talking and keeping them from enjoying it.
Instead, we just talk about loose teeth, hair, all kinds of different body parts.
We would never get to this.
Yeah, of
gold.
course.
At least we haven't talked about our crap for 2 weeks in a row like we have on our morning show on Sundays, or vomit. That's what they've been doing, vomit talk in the morning on Sunday
great.
morning. People are getting their egg McMuffin. We've been talking about vomit.
I don't know when the last time I vommed was.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if no one else is going to move this podcast along,
Adam, what have
Take
you
it
been
away,
watching?
Adam.
Adam, hey, what have you been watching, Adam?
Hey, I watched Pan's Labyrinth
Hey.
to get ready for Shape of Water.
Have you never seen that?
I have seen it. I've seen it on TV a bunch of
Uh-huh.
times. I don't know if I'd ever seen it in its totality.
Okay.
But I wanted to watch it to get nice and ready for Shape of Water, which is out now,
It is
depending
out.
on where you live. And Pan Labyrinth is great.
Yes, it's really good. I think it could have used one more monster.
Yeah,
That's just because I think they're really cool.
You
looking.
want
The
more-
monsters are all great.
Oh yeah, I love his style. Just how he his monster creation is amazing.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it all being kind of fairy tale storybook.
animatronic,
Thanks.
all real, and it's very cool looking. It's a cool little adult story. It's very violent, but very good.
It is very violent.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's just some movies will just let you assume that someone stitched up their torn apart face.
Mm-hmm.
This movie shows you
Yeah.
just him stitching up his face and all kinds of other brutal stuff that I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, and the scariest monster of all is
Man.
the Spanish fascists.
Yes.
Spanish Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, it's really great. I'm glad that Guillermo is making English movies. I don't have a problem with it being in Spanish, but just like I like when good filmmakers make movies that I directly can watch
Mhm.
without having to be super actively engaged
Right.
in reading things and kind of get more stuff from things. Because, like, I don't know, Guillermo's great, and Denis Villeneuve is great, and
You wanna-
Yorgos
you
is
wanna-
great, and
yeah.
all those guys did foreign language films before this, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and they're
I've-
also good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think with Guillermo del Toro is you want to look at what's on screen rather than
Right.
reading.
Yeah, because he does so much cool, like,
Yes.
world create. I think we talked earlier about how the production design for Blade Runner and how the original and
Mhm.
the new one, but we talked about how that production design was so good. I think Pan's Labyrinth it's not to that level, but it is very well done and interesting, and all the scenery and everything looks great and is well placed.
Mhm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's just when you have to read, you can't pay attention as much to what's actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I always like if I'm watching an anime, one of my Japanese anime, I'll do the dubbed, even though they say you need to watch it subbed.
Right,
It's like,
exactly.
no, give me that dub.
Take your subs, give me the dubs.
Yep.
Spencer, what you been watching?
I watched My Cousin Vinny.
Okay.
Oh,
Although I came into it about 20 minutes, Lexi was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi's been watching a bunch of Criterion movies. So my initial thought is My Cousin Vinny a Criterion movie? I thought that would have been strange, although it should have been because it's fantastic. It's great. Joe Pesci is hilarious.
Joe Pesci's so good.
R.I.P.
It's really cool seeing I love courtroom movies, and it's cool seeing just a comedic version of that.
Mhm.
So if you haven't seen My Cousin Vinny, highly recommend that. Watched The Last Jedi, and then I watched The Hateful Eight.
Okay.
Which everyone it got really panned.
I mean, it was
and-
nominated for Oscars and stuff.
I think but still as far as you look at the reception that like Django got from
Right.
fans and critics, and then obviously Inglourious Basterds, and both of those movies are better. But I really liked Hateful Eight. I think it was very Tarantino-y in the use of the N-word.
A lot of it.
And that made me just it's fine. I mean, it's not, but it is. Like, it doesn't take away from the movie for me too much, but a little excessive, but other than that, the whole concept is great. I love movies like that where it's really taking place in a room.
Yeah.
So like 12 Angry Men, I love.
You could tell it was written as a play first.
Exactly. Yeah, it's totally just about let's get these actors, and that's just the movie is really about their interactions. And I really like the way it all played out. The gore in it is great. Have y'all both seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Spoilers. Like, oh gosh, was it Tim Roth's character?
You could tell that was supposed to be Christoph Waltz.
Oh, you think?
Oh yeah.
No, I think he gave the script to like 5 actors.
Yeah.
It was like Bruce Dern, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, right? He gave the script like to those guys first, and somehow it like leaked, and he got.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
It was Bruce Dern who leaked it.
Was it?
Yeah. I want to say that, or his agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were all the performances were great, but Tim Roth's face getting exploded off, and then like when the jelly bean salesman lady goes up to get the jelly beans, and it's like Quentin Tarantino just had the idea of, oh, it'd be cool to have someone shoot through a jar of jelly beans and kill someone and make a huge mess. Like, it all looked great. So I'm glad I watched it. I thought it was good. And that's all I've been watching. I watched another episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I got one more left for this season.
All right. Great. Moving on to news.
Yeah, news.
All right. So today in news, we're going to talk a little bit about Star Wars, a little bit about the Golden Globes, and a little bit about some other things.
Okay.
Kind of the biggest thing that happened in movies this week, outside of the movie that was actually released, was Disney buying Fox.
Oh yeah.
$52.4 billion. Disney now owns 40% of all like movie making companies in the U.S. and 40% of all TV show making companies in the U.S.
That's insane.
So in the deal, they bought a lot of things. They got some like sport networks and stuff like that. But they also, to movies most specifically, they got Fox Searchlight, which has made a ton of Oscar movies. The X-Men franchise. So that means now the X-Men can be all wrapped up in the Marvelverse.
Now the Avengers 3 can have twice the characters.
Right. There weren't enough characters.
That's so disappointing because even if I think the X-Men movies have been way more consistent for me as far as me liking them.
Yeah,
There's a few stinkers, but
TC Fleming
he
put out a
show,
poll. On the show he said
he put out a poll too.
He said that X-Men is better than Avengers, and then he put out a poll later in the day, and after 620 votes, Avengers got 63% of the vote.
Oh yeah,
which is insane.
That's
because
crazy.
There's I left a little comment on it saying that there's no less than 3 X-Men movies that are better than the best Avengers movie, and that's including Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, and all those kind of things. The X-Men movies are great, and it really, especially when you compare them to the Avengers, where all the characters are kind of the same note.
Yeah.
And in the X-Men, without having different individual movies to set them up, they're all great different characters that interact in fun and interesting ways.
Yeah.
And also, the X-Men does a better job at kind of having a meaning to it, where it's about being different. It's about being an outsider, where, the Avengers and the Marvel, they're celebrities. They're popular celebrities, and they're, Thor's taking a selfie with 2 girls. And so it's like, it's a little different. It's not as, there's not really a message behind those movies as much as the X-Men kind of seem a little more meaningful at times,
Yeah.
And I think they also can take more risks, like Logan and Deadpool. So yeah, I think X-Men is probably a better property.
The big concern out of all this is that it's all going to get watered down.
Yeah.
And that you're not going to get something as controversial as Deadpool
or Logan,
or just where they're willing to take these risks.
Did you guys see Logan? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really liked Logan.
That might be one of my favorite of the year. But okay.
Well,
We'll see.
Don't spoil.
Yeah.
Next week.
I think everyone listening might also who isn't privy to the news might also wonder, does Disney get the Fantastic Four now? Is
Yeah, they
right?
get that. They get the Fantastic
Yes,
Thank
I think
God.
so.
Because,
We need another one.
love
of
the
those.
Fantastic Four, need another one of those.
Ready for another reboot. All right. Gary Oldman.
Old man.
Gary Oldman. He smoked $20,000 worth of cigars during the filming of The Darkest Hour,
Nice.
and he got nicotine poisoning.
Yes.
Don't really have much to say about it. Just thought that was funny.
Method.
It's a good little bit.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg is the most overpaid actor
Yeah,
of
I saw this.
2017.
I saw that.
He made his movies made $4.4 for every dollar he was paid. This goes from June 1 of last year to June 1
Yeah.
of this year. So it doesn't include Daddy's Home 2. So all you daddy fans, don't worry about it. He's
Or the Transformers movie.
It does
last
count that, right? Yeah.
No, I think I said it
Oh.
didn't.
yeah.
Ooh.
I think the movie that he's in, it's Patriots Day.
Deepwater
and
Horizon.
Deepwater Horizon.
Which we saw Deepwater Horizon, and it was one of the most difficult to follow. Not the story is difficult to follow, but it's everything is burning.
Mm-hmm.
It is so it's just everything is explosions, and it's very difficult to follow where he is.
So the other actors in the top 5. So Mark Wahlberg's number 1, then Christian Bale,
Huh.
who was in that
Yeah, the
Egyptian
Noah,
movie.
I think it was maybe Austrian.
or
It was some,
something where he
Yeah.
was white when he should not have been white.
Okay.
and it made no money, and somehow cost like $120 million.
Yeah. Channing Tatum.
For what?
I don't.
He was in
know off
Logan-
the
I mean,
top of his head.
He's in Logan Lucky, which was
But that can't
That
be.
was- that was not from
Yeah.
June 1st.
And that can't.
I thought when I was reading, I thought it included that. Yeah,
But
maybe not.
that can't be a high budget kind of movie. And maybe he got paid a lot for. I don't know.
I mean, it was relatively
Yeah.
high budget, but they had like no marketing budget though. Or
Right.
he rejected the marketing budget.
Denzel Washington and Brad Pitt are the
Huh.
last 2.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like Allied, I think was Brad Pitt's.
Yeah, I
Big
could
stinker.
see that, those big stars in kind of stinker movies.
But yeah, and I think what was included in Denzel was like Fences, which like
Right.
was nominated for a bunch of
Yeah.
Oscars. Viola Davis won.
Mm-hmm. It just wasn't necessarily
Yeah.
commercially successful.
Right. So like a lot of those like that list in particular is like, take it with a grain of salt. It's not an
Mhm.
indictment of the actor per
No,
se.
no.
I mean, Mark Wahlberg is like one of the best actors of
All
all
those,
time.
all 5 of those people are going to be finding work. They're fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Did you guys see that Seth Rogen is going to play Walter
I
Cronkite
did.
in a movie about CBS's coverage of the JFK assassination? It's a serious movie. It's not like a
Okay.
comedy.
It's not a stoner comedy.
So Buddy Seth saw Buddy Jonah
Hey!
and everyone
Yeah.
else
Right.
going off.
There's a guy on the grassy knoll.
I like this.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm willing to. I'm ready for it. Let's see
I'm-
serious Seth.
I
I
wanna
thought
see it.
he was really good in Jobs.
Oh, you're right.
I
You're
didn't
right.
see Jobs.
He
getting that?
was he's Steve Wozniak,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean he doesn't have a huge role in it, but he's just like he plays being upset pretty well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And emotes well. And like part of the thing about comedy is you have to play it straight in order to sell it.
Mhm.
And so I feel like that's why a lot of really good comedic actors can make the transition.
And
Also, I think.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was gonna
you.
say also why a lot of like serious actors like
Can go to
can go to
yeah,
comedy.
comedy.
Like John Hamm is great in comedy.
And John C.
Um,
Reilly.
Yeah.
Also, I think a lot of comedic actors have deep depression, so they can get to that dramatic thing.
Yep. That too.
Regal Theaters is rolling out Cheeto popcorn. There's been cheese on popcorn forever, but I keep seeing this on Facebook. and
Suck a
people
butt, Regal.
People get so excited.
Regal
do
Theaters
things.
screwed over my friend Ryan when he was in Columbia, Missouri, and he was planning on seeing The Disaster Artist, and they pulled the movie.
Mm.
So,
No more stories about Regal anymore.
I'm not going to find one of your theaters
No.
and wherever you might be and get Cheeto popcorn.
Trey, do you have feelings about cheese popcorn?
Oh, it's just cheese popcorn?
let me tell you about
I thought you said
cheese
Cheeto
popcorn.
popcorn.
It is,
Oh, okay. So it's Cheeto. I got it.
but it's cheese. Cheetos are
But
made
it's
of cheese.
like-
Are you aware?
No, I am. But there is cheese, and then there is Cheeto cheese. It's just more specific type of cheese.
It's that dust.
Let me tell you about cheese on popcorn. Let me tell you a little tale.
Okay.
Lay it
I
down.
don't
You don't
mind.
have
It's
a
fine.
you don't have a story on cheesy popcorn?
I'm okay with cheesy popcorn.
How do fancy popcorn places stay in business?
Oh, I got no clue. Boy Scouts. That's usually how what happens. Is the
Like
Boy
at
Scouts
North
along.
Park Mall, there's
Yeah.
that real fancy.
Papadopoulos.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because popcorn costs absolutely nothing to make.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about. I think we were talking about that today, where popcorn is like one of the most like insane industries where your costs are nothing,
Yeah.
and you can charge an arm and a leg.
Maybe it's that. I don't know why it stays in business. I'm not a big popcorn guy.
What is your go-to theater snack?
It's popcorn, but I just well, it's like here's the thing. It's like you can't leave it. I don't like it. It's like having turkey on Thanksgiving. You
Right.
know, it's like
Yeah, I
you
get
gotta
that.
have it, but I'm not gonna go home and make myself a bowl of popcorn.
Oh, I
You
love
know.
popcorn.
Yeah.
All the time.
All right.
I enjoy the bright red hot dog tubes
Yep.
where they're just like sweaty.
Oh man,
and-
if you like bright red dogs, we need to do like a boys' night out at the Galaxy Drive-In
okay.
out in Ennis. One, it's a great deal. It's like $6. You get a
Mhm.
double feature.
All right.
And this message is brought to you by Galaxy Drive-In.
Yes,
in
they're
Ennis,
sponsoring
Texas.
this.
Way better than Regal.
Way better. Yeah, it's like $6 or $7. You get a double feature. And their concession booth is amazing. Super good, like super affordable, good deals. It's a drive-in. You can also just bring your own snacks.
Right.
But they got the brightest red of hot dogs, like
Oh, yeah.
crimson dogs.
Crimson Dog.
The redder the better.
Big old red rocket.
Okay, so then in news, box office style, Star Wars came in first in the box office.
Mhm.
Have you guys looked up and seen?
I think I
No.
saw the projections and
Okay, so
The,
what are you gonna say?
it's the bull one is next, right?
Well, no, but I'm at how much money do you think Star Wars made?
$200,000.
Okay, 200,000.
I'm going to
201,000.
guess. About $154 million.
Oh, I meant to say million, not
No,
thousand.
yes,
I
you-
meant to say million.
It is
I'm gonna say-
$220 million.
Okay, I
The
was close.
second largest opening weekend of all time for Star Wars:
Damn.
The Last Jedi. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
It's not that crazy. I mean,
the first one was
it's
the first,
should
right?
be expected.
The
I mean, not the first. Force Awakens was number one, right?
I think it was.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
moving through the box office stuff, Ferdinand the Bull
Yeah,
was second. Coco was third
Mm-hmm.
with a rebound. It actually made more money than it did
Oh,
last
wow.
week. And then maybe people going to see Star Wars and they brought their kids and then they were just like,
Go
you
in
go in
there.
there and then this is something for Daddy.
Daddy's gonna get the Star Wars.
And then after Coco, Wonder, Justice
Again?
League, Daddy's Home 2, and then Disaster Artist.
Oh man.
So Spency won.
Yeah, so that means in our picks, I won, which means that with one, I think is there 2 weeks left in the year technically, or
2
is there
weeks.
just one?
1 week.
2. Oh no, next weekend is. I think there could technically be
I
one,
think
but it
there
might. It'll.
No, there's
The first is a
kinda this
Monday,
week there's
so we
two.
got 2 more.
Okay,
yeah.
so we have
Yeah.
2 more. Going into the final 2
tied.
weeks, we're all tied at 4.
Damn.
Oh boy,
This is great. This is fun.
man, hot start from Spencer. Then believing in his,
Yeah.
believing in that Disaster Artist.
Not,
Huge
not
mistake.
working out for you.
Okay, so this week we have Downsizing, the Matt Damon feature,
Okay.
Father
I
Figures.
can't stand that the trailer for it.
It's a pretty weird trailer.
Well, that's the thing. I saw one trailer that looked really interesting, and then I saw another one that seemed to really like gum up the whole like it's like a believe in yourself kind
Yeah.
of story. And I'm really hoping that's not the story because it's a cool concept.
Mm-hmm.
Then Father Figures, the one where Owen Wilson and Ed Helms try to find who their hooer motherfucked.
Oh man, that's just an episode of South Park.
There's so many dad movies this year.
Just a collection of old men.
And freaking Terry Bradshaw's in it.
Yep.
Some reason.
And then Pitch Perfect.
Isn't
3.
Henry Winkler in it? I saw him on like a press junket. It was on my TV. It was just on. It was Henry Winkler talking to a bunch of old bitches about this great movie he's in, and I'm just like, God, Henry Winkler wants to die right now.
Here's a question: how many references to
Scrotums?
No, God, why am I shingles? Do you think will be in Father Figures from Terry Bradshaw?
Oh, at least one or two. He's the face of Shingles.
Yes.
And then Pitch Perfect 3 is also coming out. Last call pitches.
Oh, great.
So, since we're all tied, I guess it doesn't matter who goes first. But I'm going to go ahead and say Star Wars. I think we'll all agree there.
Yeah, I'll go
No,
Star
I'm going to go
Wars.
Ferdinand.
You said it.
No, Star Wars first. Star Wars first.
So everybody's got Star Wars. Now I think it
Yeah.
gets interesting.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys have? I guess I went first the first time, so I have to go.
Pitch Perfect 3? How much did Pitch Perfect 2 make?
Well, I don't know. This is something that you could have researched.
You know what, Adam? That's not my job, okay?
Well, it depends.
Well, once we start getting sponsorship,
It will
it'll be
my
your job.
Yes, that's true. How do we get that Spencer?
We gotta get like 20 sales
Sponsorship.
dudes. Just find
We
some
should get a
bros.
sponsorship. That's where Spencer pays.
Let's wait
us.
for Cumulus to fire someone on the sales team and say, "Hey, we got a great opportunity for an experienced media salesman."
Okay.
I'm going to choose downsizing.
I'm gonna go a Pitch Perfect 3.
I'm gonna go Ferdinand.
All right. Wow. So I was expecting to go kind of deep with this one.
I think downsizing is probably next.
I don't know if downsizing is going to do well at all.
Yeah, I've got
because
no
it does
idea.
seem the trailer stuff is weird to me.
Yes.
I just know.
I don't like that song. First of all, in the trailer.
You don't like that?
No,
What song
it's
is
too
it?
happy.
You may ask yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't like this? Gosh, I mean Talking
no.
Heads, but what's the song? I can't remember.
Days Gone By?
Days
Is that what it's
Days
called?
gone by.
Once
Hey, I'm Matt.
Once in a
Damon.
in a
There
lifetime.
we go.
And I'm making a great movie about downsizing. Save the whales.
Okay, so now let's do our Golden Globes picks. We teased this last
Yes, we
week.
did
Golden
tease it.
Globes nominations are
Golden
out.
Globes nominations.
The show is January 7th. We're all going to make our picks. The loser, I would say, fewest wins, has to watch a movie of the other two's choosing.
Yeah, so
To be
you
reviews?
both have to decide. You both decide on one movie or loser.
Yes.
I said you both. Like I'm gonna lose. Get out of here.
Okay? We cool with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think we should change who picks first.
Don't make me
Every
watch Holy
time.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Best Picture Drama is Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Post, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Trey, you go first.
And we're allowed to pick the same.
Yeah,
movie?
we can pick the same ones.
My pick for the first annual Golden Globes picks.
This is the first ever Golden
It's a lot of
Globes
pressure.
awards.
A lot of pressure. I think I'm sometimes wrong. There's no okay. First of all, there's no movie in there about making movies or about actors or art, right?
Correct.
Read it again.
Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Post, Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
No. So
Trey, we got a lot of things to go
the
through
Post.
here. Okay. Trey chooses The Post.
Spencer chooses Dunkirk.
Spencer chooses Dunkirk. Adam chooses Shape of Water.
Hot take.
I love it
think-
when we all pick different ones.
I think they're gonna go with this is important and pick the Post.
Yep. Nothing important about Dunkirk.
Well, but it's a store.
It's the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Oh,
Does the Golden Globes.
ooh, but still they fucking hate Trump. So Post.
Okay. Best Picture, Musical, or Comedy.
You do know. Never mind.
What?
You do know the post is about Nixon, right?
No, yes, but it correlates to events
It's
like
about
now
the
in
Yeah.
news.
importance of
The
journalism.
importance
Right.
of journalism.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Best Picture of a Musical or a Comedy. The Disaster Artist, Get Out, The Greatest Showman, I, Tonya, Lady Bird. So now it'll go to me to start off. I'm picking Lady Bird.
You're picking Lady Bird?
Yes.
I'm going to pick Disaster Artist.
Spencer, keep doubling down.
Yeah!
on
Double
Disaster
down.
Artist. All right, Trey?
I want Get Out to win.
Yep.
But I think Lady Bird might be the safe pick.
Okay.
Lady Bird is great.
Yeah.
Love
All right.
Lady Bird.
Best performance by an actress in a drama. Jessica Chastain from Molly's Game. Sally Hawkins from The Shape of Water. Frances McDormand from 3 Billboards. Meryl Streep from The Post. Michelle Williams, All the Money in the World. Spencer.
As much as I do not want to pick Meryl Streep because she is a fake news hack, overrated.
Okay.
Screw it. I'm going to pick Meryl Streep.
All right. Spencer takes Streep.
Although I think I would want, from the things I've seen, I think I would want Frances McDormand to win because I
Yeah,
thought
I
her
like her.
performance was fantastic.
Yeah. it was
I
really
like
good.
anything she's in. I need to see that movie. I'm going to play the spread on this.
Which is?
Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Frances McDormand.
Oh.
I think she's got a good shot of it. She was
Yeah.
great. And she's also, she's the only winner of a Tony, Golden Globe, and an Academy Award.
Is she?
I couldn't tell you. That's news
Did she
to me.
get
That's-
nominated for Fargo? Or win?
I
or
can't
anything?
remember, but she has won an Academy Award.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw it's some trio.
Mm-hmm.
I can look. It's too late. What's the next
Don't worry
category?
All right. Best performance by an actor in a drama. Timothy Chalamet from Call Me By Your Name. Daniel Day-Lewis in The Phantom Thread. Tom Hanks in The Post. Gary Oldman in The Darkest Hour. Denzel Washington in Roman J. Israel Esquire. So this one,
I haven't seen any of those. That's
So-
the thing.
Trey. Yeah, this is the hard part about Golden Globe picking.
Man. Call Me By Your Name's getting a lot of buzz for the actors.
And Timothy Chalamet is like hot right now.
Very
so hot right now.
So hot.
But
He's a
it's
talented young
Daniel
man.
Day-Lewis's final role
Yes.
ever.
This is essentially a posthumous award.
Yes,
for
pretty
him.
much, because he's gonna die. Man, I don't like going first. I will pick. You know what?
Trey really doesn't
I'm
want to
gonna
watch
pick
whatever
the-
movie we're gonna propose.
I'm gonna pick the dude from Call Me by Your Name.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Timothy.
Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
That's right. I am also picking Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
This is a boring one because I'm also picking Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
I think
Uh,
there's too much buzz for him
yeah.
not to win it right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people they kind of get nominated based on
Playing.
Breakthrough?
Their
Well,
yeah.
is he straight?
No.
Oh, he's not. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say if he's
In
straight
real life?
playing gay.
Well, in
then you
real
will
life, I
win.
think he is.
He's really straight in real life.
Right.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
yeah.
so.
Call Me by Your Name's about a gay boy
No, well then you will win if he's playing a gay character
with Army Hammer.
Yeah. Well, that's
Actress.
sometimes what happens when you play a very different character from yourself. You'll win.
I'm just saying, like people like Daniel Day-Lewis may get nominated based
Yeah.
on their past record.
Yeah.
And I
This-
would say even Meryl Streep in the
100%.
which I haven't. Like she got nominated for Florence Foster
Uh-huh.
Jenkins for an Oscar, and that movie was garbage.
Yeah.
I didn't mean what I said about that to sound like
No.
offensive.
No,
I
no.
was just.
You're
Meryl
Okay.
Streep's immensely talented
Yeah.
and deserves her fame and success,
No, yeah.
but she gets nominated for anything she does at this point.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Actress in a musical or comedy: Dame Judi Dench, Victoria and Abdul, Margot Robbie from I, Tonya, the Irish girl from Lady Bird,
Saoirse Ronan, I think.
Saoirse Ronan,
Is
yeah.
it's the girl or the mom?
Suri?
the girl.
Okay.
Maybe it's just pronounced Suri.
Emma Stone from Battle of the Sexes, Helen Mirren, The Leisure Seeker.
Give me. Oh,
I'm first.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Ronan.
That's from what movie?
That's Lady Bird.
Okay.
I think I want to take Saoirse, but I'm going to go with Margot Robbie for I, Tonya. I've been hearing a lot of great
Really?
news about like that her performance of I, Tonya is great.
Yeah.
And I do think that committees, when you're playing a specific person
Yeah.
and you knock it out of the park, that
Not all
they
the time. Not all the time.
not all the time, but when you do a really good job
Mhm.
playing someone who's actually existed,
Yeah.
you get a lot of cred for that.
Give me Lady Bird. Lady.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Ronan.
Miss Ronan.
All
I need
right.
to see that movie.
Best Director. We got Guillermo del Toro, Shape of
Yes.
Water. Martin McDonagh, 3 Billboards. Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk.
Ooh.
Ridley Scott for All the Money in the World. And Steven Spielberg for The Post.
Ridley Scott just kind of went for the replacement of Kevin Spacey. Hey, you did it!
You shot 2 movies.
You
Good
got
job.
rid of him. Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Is it me first?
Yes, Spencer first.
I'm gonna go with Chris Nolan because, by God,
It makes sense. That was your pick.
that movie was exquisite.
It was beautiful.
It was.
Trey.
It's for me. It's between Christopher Nolan and Guillermo del Toro. I think, man, because has Christopher Nolan been nominated before?
That's what I was looking up. I don't know if he's won for maybe for Interstellar.
Trying to think. Yeah, Interstellar was nominated for some stuff.
Dark Knight was not nominated for anything.
I mean, other than like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Not Christian
Well,
Bale.
no,
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Man.
I feel like there was a Chris Nolan movie that was
He's been nominated for 3 Oscars. He was nominated for Best Picture for Inception,
Okay.
Inception.
Best Writing Screenplay for Inception, and Best Writing Screenplay for Memento.
So this is
Yeah.
the first time for director.
Yes.
I'm going to, you know what? It is Hollywood Forward Press. I'm going to give it to Guillermo del Toro.
I'm also GDT in.
Yeah.
Cowards. Not even picking the... Wait, it's foreign press, so you're not going to pick the British director?
Well, that's not foreign.
Christopher
I'm
Nolan's... Yeah, he's totally British.
No, yeah, it's, I think just Guillermo del Toro has a certain style, and it's
He's more foreign, I get it.
He's way more foreign.
I really
He
like.
hangs out with Hideo Kojima. How foreign can you get? Good God.
I really dug the way Dunkirk looked, but everything that I've seen from Shape of Water just looks so
And, no, 100%.
amazing.
Yeah, and I think Shape of Water has the luxury of being out now. It's in
Right.
everyone's mind,
Yep.
whereas Dunkirk came out earlier
Summer
this year.
movie.
Yeah.
I do think I could see Shape of Water, which plan on doing it this week, I think.
I need to see it this week.
I would
Um,
like
yeah.
to.
If I don't see it this week, I'll definitely see it with my
Mhm.
week off
Yeah.
the following. I could see that and say, okay, never mind. That's
Sure.
masterclass, but that's my pick for now.
Sure.
All right. Best performance by an actor in a comedy: Steve Carell, Battle of the Sexes; Ansel Elgort, Baby Driver; James Franco, Disaster Artist; Hugh Jackman, The Greatest Showman;
Huge Jackman.
Daniel Kaluuya, the guy from Get Out.
Kaluuya?
Kaluuya.
Ooh. All right. Who's up first?
You are.
Give me James Franco.
James
Yeah.
Franco.
I think he'll get a nod for that.
I'm
Maybe.
going to take the guy from Get Out.
Okay. I'd be cool with him winning.
I'm back and I'm picking James, Disaster
Yeah!
Artist.
He's back, baby.
I think he's so good. He's such a great part of that movie.
Who, James or Kaluuya?
James Franco.
I mean, they both are
Yeah,
really
they both
great,
are.
But
James Franco, that movie is James.
Yes.
It's a
good.
James- yeah.
The best parts of it is James Franco's
It's
thing.
kind of. It's,
And so the fact that it got nominated for things makes me think that they'll think highly of James Franco's
yeah.
thing. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be like, maybe it's a little mean. Maybe it's
It's a bit like the Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey, Andy Kaufman. The movie was him.
Yeah.
right.
It's sort of like that in a
Yeah.
way.
I
And
don't know.
there's
I would love for James Franco to win it.
yeah.
I'm
because
a little-
because you know Tommy's going to be there at
Oh
the
my
awards.
God.
Just to
Yeah.
see, Tommy's coming up for any of the if that movie wins anything,
Yeah.
Tommy is speaking at the Golden Globes
Yes.
or
Oh my
the Academy
God.
Awards. That would be fantastic.
that would be amazing. Supporting
Best
actress.
story ever told? Would that be the best story ever told? Or best story ever?
He would just ramble.
No, I mean, like, would that be like the best story? Just like
I don't
life
care.
Story?
I'll do it.
Like, because he wanted to win an Academy Award and he wins an Academy Award.
Essentially,
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Terrible.
I'm sure that there will be plenty of Oscar skits
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
with him.
But this is I've not been like super thrilled to watch the Oscars too much. I've been more thrilled to watch the Oscars than like the Grammys. But this year, because of the movies that are out, I think I'm actually pretty excited
Mhm.
for what
It's
they could
it
do to
seems
make it a
pretty
show.
wide open.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
At least at this point,
Right.
Because generally, as award season goes on, you kind of see what
Mm-hmm.
is going down.
Yeah.
But supporting actress in a motion picture: Mary J. Blige in Mudbound, Hong Chow in Downsizing, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. I am
That's-
taking Allison Janney, because every single thing that I've seen about I, Tonya just talks about how Allison Janney is so freaking good in it. She plays Tonya Harding's controlling mother.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Miss Metcalf from Lady Bird.
All right.
I thought when I was watching that, I was like, oh, that's like a Oscar
right.
level like.
I totally agree.
That supported that type of mom figure is like bait for these types of awards.
Trey.
I've not seen either of those, but man, I might go for Lady Bird. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another question. This might sound weird when I say it initially, but as Octavia Spencer reaching almost Meryl Streep levels, not in terms of but as far as auto nominee.
Yeah,
like
she
all of her
is nominated
performances,
a bunch.
And she's great.
Yeah, she's
a
great.
Fantastic actress.
And especially specifically in supporting actresses roles.
Yes.
Not ever really lead actress, but
right.
just like being a real strong supporting character.
But I think almost all of her big, at least, performances have been nominated in recent years.
Yeah.
Let's make Spencer watch Holy Mountain when he loses.
He just picked the exact same thing you did.
Well, yeah, okay.
Best supporting actor in a motion picture: Willem Dafoe, Florida Project; Armie Hammer, Call Me by Your Name; Richard Jenkins, The Shape of Water;
Richard Jenkins;
Christopher Plummer as not Kevin Spacey in All the Money in the World; Sam Rockwell in 3 Billboards; Spencer.
Ooh, Sam Rockwell.
Oh gosh. Could you read it down real quick one more time?
Willem Dafoe, Armie Hammer,
and,
Richard Jenkins, Christopher Plummer,
Antichrist.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Armie Hammer. Just doubling down on that. Call Me by Your Name. Love.
Trey.
Give me Christopher Plummer. Give me Christopher Plummer.
Come on.
I'm going to take. Ooh.
That's a tough category.
This is a tough one. Sam Rockwell is really good in 3 Billboards,
He's
but it's also
fantastic.
like a very strange role.
Right. It's not like great by like conventional acting per se.
Yes. Richard Jenkins, I was kind of surprised
That's
that he got
surprising.
nominated more than Michael Shannon, who is the big villain.
Right. Is he the monster, or is the monster?
Is he the monster?
I don't think so.
Or
I
is
think
he
I
the
think
other
he is like
scientist?
I think he's her like
The scientist who's
keeper.
reasonable.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I like him in anything he's in, like Step Brothers and all that.
Yeah.
He's great. I like him. He's like your dad.
Just to kind of diversify
Sure.
from all my Shape of Water stuff, I'm gonna take Willem Dafoe because Florida Project is supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
And he's kind of the only actor that's come out of that with a nomination.
And
Uh-huh.
Willem
So-
Dafoe is also pretty great in anything he does.
Like Antichrist.
especially Green Goblin.
Best Screenplay:
Antichrist.
The Shape of Water, Lady Bird, The Post,
Mm.
3 Billboards, Molly's Game.
Ooh, no Wonder Wheel.
No Wonder Wheel.
Wonderwall.
Let's see. Did
I'm sorry.
let's see,
I was
you're
being
starting,
I was
Trey.
being silly. Can you go do that again?
Shape of Water,
Yeah.
Lady Bird, The Post, 3 Billboards, Molly's Game.
Best screenplay.
Best Screenplay.
I bet you Shape of Water gets that.
Okay, Shape of Water.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Lady Bird
Okay.
for.
That might be a
'cause
safe bet.
I don't know. It's
That's
it's
my
not
thing.
it's not like a wild screenplay, but I think it's
Yeah.
very relatable.
Sure.
And so it would be kind of like what's your preference? Like creating a big crazy world, or doing something that is
I might be
like so
picking-
real.
yeah.
Yeah.
I might be picking my idea rather than what they are going to vote for, but
Sorry, can you read it one more time? Just kidding. I'm gonna take Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. Okay. Animated movie.
oh,
So this is Boss Baby, Breadwinner, Ferdinand, Coco, Loving Vincent.
can we all just vote Boss Baby, please? Can we all just do that?
Sure, you start.
No,
I'm taking Coco.
I'm taking Coco.
Coco.
Okay.
I want Boss Baby to win.
This
It might.
even though that's all I have. There's
Okay.
TV stuff, but let's not deal with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
This is
there's
a
like
films
and then there's
podcast,
like
damn it.
soundtrack and stuff. Not soundtrack, but whatever.
I would
score.
like to go through all of them for Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we do
Like,
Academy
oh,
Awards.
yeah.
Sure. Can you just tell me if Hans Zimmer is nominated?
I don't know.
because dude, all of the audio,
His hit rate.
his hit rate, but all of the audio in Dunkirk is amazing.
It's gonna win sound mixing and sound.
It's so visceral and
it's so great.
The suspense building kind of background music.
I think Dunkirk
fantastic.
will win a ton of technical awards.
Right.
It has to.
That's kind of where I'm falling.
I
And
actually got
anyway,
that I'm gonna get that for Christmas. Dunkirk DVD.
all right.
Watch the special features.
You're gonna watch it on DVD?
I got a Blu-ray action, not DVD.
Wow.
I'm sorry,
Thank
I'm not
you.
a plebe.
Thank God.
Okay, that's the news.
All right, well, that's the news. Now we're going to get into some Star Wars conversations about The Last Jedi. Now, we're going to first do a little bit with non-spoilers, and then we'll get into spoilers, and then we'll do some Twitter questions at the end, which will probably be spoilery.
Yes.
So we'll let you know when we're about to get into spoilers. So let's kind of just give our general impressions of the movie. If you guys want to start. Adam, you want to start?
Oh, I don't know if I want to start because I feel like last time I started, I kind of dampened everyone else's opinions, and I want you guys to fight. I'll start. I'm
gonna fight.
I want you guys to fight me
fight
on
you.
it.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I really did not like it. The first hour and 30 minutes, I think, are just about as bad as any Star Wars movie. There's a B plot line that is, I would say, almost as bad as Anakin and Padme's adventure on Naboo. I feel like things that were built up from the first movie, because what I said about the first movie is that I didn't love it, but I feel like they set up a lot of things to where I'm excited about the future. And I feel like this movie undercut those at every single turn. And every single chance they had to kind of expound on something cool or interesting from the last movie, they kind of cut it off at the pass. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my take is I'm going to fight you, not like so hard because I don't like it enough to fight you so hard about it. My take is I liked it, I enjoyed it. I think your critiques are accurate. There's tons of stuff that's very frustrating, with the way that they I don't want to get into spoilies. There are things that are very frustrating with the way they treat certain plot lines and characters. But overall, I think they still do a really good job with building the world. They still do a good job with most of the characters. I still like most of the characters, and I still like most of just the environments that they're in and the world that they're in, enough to where I can sit down and enjoy it, and kind of just I can look past some of the issues to the point where I'll still enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with Spencer, where I enjoyed it, but I definitely had a lot of issues with it. There are a lot of things that just... There are a lot of kind of tones that didn't really make sense, or not necessarily make sense, but I didn't really like. With maybe some of the more comedic elements I didn't really like as much. I think the comedic elements sort of negated some of the characters. I think that B plot line really slowed down the pace. It was a very... I think
there's like 3 final fights in
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah.
At least.
Yes. And
Which are pretty well directed. At least some of them are.
I think it looked
but
beautiful. I think the
it
movie...
gets weighted
Yeah.
down for sure.
I think the movie looked beautiful. I think the way Rian Johnson directed it, a lot of it looked like a samurai film or some kind of anime film with some of the lightsaber fights looked just incredible. I think these movies just look really good and really cool. There are certain elements which were really neat to see on screen. I think I enjoyed Rey and I enjoyed what's his effing name?
Luke?
Not Luke. I did
Finn?
enjoy Luke. No.
Poe?
Poe.
No. Kylo Ren. I enjoyed
yeah.
their kind of relationship. I enjoyed Luke. I liked Luke a lot. I liked certain aspects of that character. I liked sort of how they dealt with the Force and Jedi. There are a lot of things I liked about the movie, but yeah, the movie is sort of middling to me. I liked it, but I definitely get the criticism, and I agree with a lot of the criticism, but I'm kind of with you. Is there's certain things I can maybe kind of look over more than some people can.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the parking lot before we started, where you were saying that you value the good moments more than I do.
Sure.
And that is, I think, a totally fair thing, because there is a lot of cool things in it, especially there's a lot of cool things about the way it looks.
It's probably the best looking Star Wars movie ever. Maybe. I mean, some of the shots were really cool.
Yeah, I don't know where I would rank it. We'll have to like rewatch all of them to decide that.
No way. Hell no. Hell no.
But I think I'm the same way. And I think part of that is at first viewing, I'm watching it to be captivated, to be
and like figure out the story and all that.
I'm watching it for enjoyment. At second or third watching, whatever, and when I watch it again, at that point I'm watching it more so to be critical, to actually like assess it. And I think there was enough at first glance that I thought was really cool and really enjoyable to kind of, for the time, look past some of the stuff that was lazy or just a weird direction.
I think this movie made me take. It sounds bad, but I kind of mean it in sort of maybe a positive way. It kind of made me take the movies less seriously. Like, okay,
right,
this is what we're getting.
It's definitely a more lighthearted.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
take.
Yeah. There was a ton of that.
It's like, this is what we're getting, and I'm just gonna I accept that almost. I'm not, and I've never been the biggest Star Wars guy. I've never been like, I don't have any Star Wars tattoos or anything like that. So I can maybe accept things like that more than certain people can, you know?
I mean, I'll never accept as much porgs as we got.
Are we're gonna do spoilers?
Right, I mean, now? I don't think saying there are porgs in this movie.
I'm just saying that might be a rant from me.
Okay. Was there any other non-spoiler?
Just one as far as non-spoiler things. It's been a bad year for directors that I've pumped up on this on this podcast. Just generally, I think Rian Johnson is kind of getting shit on a little bit. I
mean, did he write as well?
He wrote and directed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have his own 3 movie spinoff.
Well, then hopefully
they're all lightsaber fights.
Hopefully he's able to. I mean, who knows how much of this is on him, how much of this is on Disney.
100%.
But hopefully, well, that's the thing. They're not going to care because they just had the second biggest
opening weekend.
Whereas
and it's like 94 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
Well, it is 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score
is 50,
is
right?
53.
Yeah.
Which is also
it's never like that.
No.
Yeah, it's always the other way around. I feel.
Well, it's either or. I mean, there's a lot. No. You know what? You're right.
Well, it's either close or the audience is way above the critics.
Right. And I mean, this goes back a few weeks when we talked about how Disney was kind of blocking people out of screenings for giving not so great. Well, I mean, the LA Times investigated them for kind of pressuring Anaheim government to do things, and they cut them out of screenings. And it's like Disney has all this power, and especially now they bought Fox, and they have all this, and all their movies seem to be really well reviewed. Really, Thor's a 95% movie.
Yeah. No, I 100. That is a conspiracy theory up there with like lizard people for me as far as believability.
Okay, because lizard people is happening.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, if you don't believe that, you need to wake up.
Wake up.
But as far as my directors that I've actively,
well, you're really into Yorgos and Charlie V.
Yes.
So they both, critically at least, and in your critical opinion,
yes. But
great years.
Darren Aronofsky got destroyed for Mother, which I enjoyed.
Yes.
Baby Driver I did not enjoy as much. It's for Edgar Wright. Yeah. And then Lord and Miller got kicked off their movie. So
Scorsese's still doing well for me. Still doing great.
Anyway, spoiler time?
Yeah. Now we're about to do spoilers, so please.
Do we have spoiler theme music by chance? We can.
It's
spoilers.
Spoilers.
Darth Vader is Luke's father. Spoilers.
I like that. I like that.
All right.
Jangle.
Dumbledore dies. Snape kills Dumbledore. That's the second version.
Okay.
Snape kills Dumbledore. Spoilers.
Bruce Willis dead the whole time.
Spoilers. That's great. I
They're
like this.
dead if you put water on them.
Spoilers.
Is that War of the Worlds?
Signs.
That's signs.
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 More spoilers for me, please.
That is War of the Worlds. It's their
similar.
air, right?
Air,
It's like the
yeah.
carbon in the air or something
Yeah.
like that.
Man, these are some.
Great
Okay.
spoilies.
Anyway,
We can get into the.
She was a dude. Spoilers.
let's dig into.
That's from
So
what's that
here's a
movie?
question. So like with all these other ones, we've had time to watch them on our couches.
And take
Are you
notes.
and you've led? Are you prepared to do that, or are we going to go back to a sort of this will be a little bit more freeform?
I can try to go through. I'm may not, because I don't have my notes in front of me. I may not be able to
Right.
stay on track quite as well. It opens up with a big old space battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I typically I don't really care about the space fights. I've never enjoyed them as much as other folks. To like, I mean, obviously there are some moments like the initial God, what's it called? The blank run. Was it the trench run? Like that's cool. But I thought the space fights in this movie, with the exception of like when they're just showing the cruiser getting pelted, I thought the space fights were pretty great. There's some really cool use of like the X-wings, like the quick turnaround that Poe does after taking out one of the cannons. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it's I think that was a pretty solid open.
It's kind of showing
would
Poe's
say.
character a little bit more.
I think
and-
I definitely liked Poe a lot more in this one
Yeah.
than I
Yeah.
did in the last movie.
Yeah.
kind of gave more of a character too.
Right, where he's
Yeah.
the reckless,
Yes.
Yes.
but he's going to be the one that's going to stick to the.
They kind of split Han Solo's character into Poe and Finn in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Although progressing along in this space battle, it seems like they had this awesome plan, and he's like, "All right, I've got to take out all these cannons so we can get our bombers in." Yet, I mean, all of the bombers still get destroyed except for
Yeah.
one.
Right.
It's like, were you not planning on any like you have one X-wing and all these bombers essentially? It still was a terrible plan.
Mhm.
From a military strategy standpoint.
Yeah, and then we get girl we've never seen before, fighting to get a button to
Mhm.
drop her
Very
payload,
lost. Like
Yeah.
and she drops it, and the ship explodes.
Well, you didn't even get to the one part where he's talking to General Hux, and he's call hold. What?
Oh,
who's this?
right. Oh,
Who's
yeah.
this?
So immediately
this is
we
like
get-
one of your least favorite things of these movies.
So, and this happens constantly in this movie.
It does.
It's kind of the start.
I was kind of
forgot about
okay
this.
with it in Force Awakens. I was
Right.
kind of okay with that. I thought it was kind of funny.
This
This one stood out to
overkill.
me. This
This
one stood
is
out
what-
to me.
This is overkill.
So he's like, "Yeah, get General Hux on the
Yeah.
phone," as he just hovers right in front of them,
Yeah.
and then he's like, well, do you hear me? I can't hear. Can you get him on the phone?" And so I think it worked in this instance, but it does set in place a chain of events of nothing being taken seriously
Yes.
ever.
Right.
Yes.
It completely undermines the fear you're supposed to feel towards like Kylo Ren, whereas Kylo's ultimately supposed to be the next Darth Vader,
Yeah.
Right.
yet nobody gives a shit.
I think it works in this because it really solidifies Poe. Because in this movie, they're like, he's cocky and he's willing to do whatever
Right.
it takes, and I don't think they set that up as well. But it is right in the beginning of the movie again.
Yeah.
They have Poe talking trash to somebody, but Hux is kind of. He's like in a position of power, but is also like a little bitch
Oh, that's
boy.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. He's talking to Hux.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, my Kylo Ren take was not as
Hux,
apropos.
yeah,
But
Well, I thought you were talking about later in the movie, because there's
That too,
later in
yeah.
the movie there's
There-
Kylo Ren stuff, which I'm just like, ugh.
there's also that. But
God.
yeah, Hux is like an idiot.
Mhm.
And
Right.
Also, and yeah, that whole. I mean, it does help you understand Poe's character, but it was so prolonged.
Yeah, it's
And-
a very long joke,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, do you talk? I talk, which at least it's short.
Yeah.
This one, he goes and gives like a long monologue, and then he's like, "What is the connection bad?"
Yeah.
And then
Then
it
he just
like
starts
does it
on with the
again,
monologue
and
again.
it
Like,
just kind of does it again. And it's like,
it's like an SNL sketch, you know? It's
Yeah.
just yeah, I didn't care for that as much. And yeah, that wasn't great. And then they introduce, what's her name? The girl, the Asian girl.
I have no idea.
Rose? With the,
The
so
Rose,
there's
yeah, that's
there's
Rose, right?
Rose's,
So it's
Rose's
Rose's
sister.
sister.
Oh, that's Rose's sister.
I don't think
yes.
she. I'm
Because-
not sure if she gets a name or not.
Because she
Yeah.
has the other half
Of her thing.
Yeah,
of
the medallion
Yes.
deal.
And so yeah, they lose and
well,
Princess-
they win and lose.
well
they,
yeah, Princess Leia
they take
did
on
miss.
a dreadnought,
Mhm.
but they lose like all of their bombers and like.
How do they get all these big ass ships? That's like what I always wonder about.
Well,
just
they-
sort
they
of,
They
buy-
buy them from the rich and powerful
Yeah.
people.
Didn't you know? They're supplying to the First Order. The bad people on Vegas planet
yeah.
are supplying to.
I'm all for like learning more about sort of how like things work in this world. It's just
Right.
you know,
And that's what I think this ultimately does a
mhm,
somewhat good job of.
you know,
Is you can start getting some of that.
I think it does work to an extent for some things, and then in others, it's kind of like, let's explain how the Force works again.
Yeah.
Like we tried to explain it in the prequels,
It's
and
not
then we keep
midichlorians.
doing it, and then we're just gonna keep going with this until
Yeah.
we find something that
Yeah,
works.
that's like Peter Parker, like Bruce Wayne
Yeah,
origin story stuff.
over and over again. So they make the jump to light speed to get away, and then Hux is like, "Don't worry, we have them on a string."
I thought when he said that, I thought he meant literally.
yeah,
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna like come back or something. Now, did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
I did not.
I realized actually today this is very much like the first season of Battlestar Galactica
Okay.
because the whole first season they are pretty much being chased by the Cylons. They're having to jump, you know, every now and then because the Cylons will come.
Right.
So it reminds me a lot of Battlestar Galactica, this whole movie, where they're just, it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's interesting. They keep having to kind of jump and evade the New Order who's following them, chasing them pretty much.
Okay, so then they have the tracking device on them.
Yeah.
Why is Snoke here now?
Why is he there
Why is he there?
with them?
Because he has to be
Yeah.
killed.
Right.
Right.
That's in Jedi,
Mhm.
and the Emperor comes because he's going to facilitate the meeting between Luke and Vader,
Mhm.
and so I mean maybe that's what he's doing because he says that later on that's the reason why he gives Kylo and Ren Rey their connection.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't really know. So then they make the jump, and then Kylo Ren's all mad.
This is after meeting with Snoke, right?
After meeting with Snoke.
Yeah, and he tells
Dude,
him,
why is he wearing a Hugh Hefner robe?
Yeah,
of all.
"Bro, I don't care. I love that robe. That robe is sick, and I want
But
one."
it just doesn't. It just kind of makes him look like an old, disgusting pimp, rather than a evil, dark figure. I don't know. It doesn't
Right. I think
suit him.
And
I mean-
that's Andy Serkis, I believe.
It is.
Yes.
Well. Oh.
And
no,
they-
they can't get anyone else to do motion
Mocap?
capture. Just Andy Serkis.
I don't
I mean,
know.
just get the most expensive motion
I'm
capture.
not going to begrudge the
for
guy
a
for
guy-
getting work.
for a guy who literally sits
Yeah.
in a throne
Yeah.
like the whole time almost.
And then he walks over, and he has the same weird, like, jerky motion that is from the prequels.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't understand.
I
He
didn't
doesn't look that.
No, he doesn't look
Good.
good either.
No.
Why can't they
It's-
just do
I
makeup?
mean, the robe looks awesome, but the rest looks
They could have done makeup with that. It just, jeez.
So then Kylo gets all mad because he's like, "You let a little girl beat you," and he's like, "I'm gonna go blow some shit up." So he goes and gets in his little fighter and bombards their ship,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and has a chance to kill
His
his
mama.
mom, and he decides
Nah.
no. But then,
I honestly, oh, sorry, keep going.
but then, his friends that he went with decide to do it.
Yeah.
Leia is cast out into space.
I honestly thought
This-
that was her death scene.
I thought that was their death
Yeah.
scene, and I thought that was pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think they freaking knew everyone thought that'd be her death
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
Right.
And Nope. Now we finally get to see her use some sort of force power.
I think this is worse than Long No. Her flying through space like fucking Superman.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I'm willing to suspend my belief so many times for movies. Like we'll get into it later, but like the Finn and Rose big fight scene.
Right.
This took me out of it. And it was terrible.
It's
this scene was so
someone
bad.
who has never used the Force. Ever.
That was
like
her
if
using the Force.
if it's Luke,
Yeah.
then maybe I can do it. But like they've
Right.
just kind of given her this Force sense, and
Yeah.
now she just flies back into the ship.
Right. It's
Oh man.
it's okay. So here's a take that I'm just now coming up with. So they say when Luke dies, she'll be able to use the Force will be stronger with her or something.
Right.
What if Luke was dead the whole time?
I
don't think so.
don't think that's the
Yeah.
case.
No, this is a terrible scene. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was having struggles with that. It was like I wanted to like it and think it's cool, but like, yeah, I was struggling with that one.
It was like made to be this big triumphant spectacle, and it's like no, I don't care which time it is, what part of the galaxy you're in, you can't survive in space.
Yeah.
And you
Just-
I don't care about you being able to float around and use the Force to move yourself around. Like if she was in a spacesuit,
Right.
dude, no, you can't do that.
Like there needs to be a limit.
I will say though, this is a fantasy movie. This is not science fiction.
But if people can just be brought back whenever, then there are no stakes.
Right.
If things happen to
yeah, like I
other
said,
people,
I'll suspend my belief, but this is like crossing a line as far as like it's fantasy, but this is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
yes. So then Finn, I guess this is probably before this happens.
Yeah.
But Finn is in some sort of wacky leaking bodysuit.
That's a gag. There's a lot of gags.
There's a lot of like what is that?
I don't
What is it? Is it him?
Maybe
Is he supposed to be healing from the fight from the last movie?
Yeah.
guess.
Is that what? Is it
No,
like
yeah,
the?
yeah, yeah.
Is
He
it? It's
woke
supposed to
up.
be like the chamber that
Yeah.
Luke's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, at least that.
Yeah.
So then he goes and he's like, all I care about is Rey, and
Mm-hmm.
I need to get to Rey, and she's gonna come into this bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
And so then
So
he,
okay, I like that motive.
Yeah.
That's cool.
right. So then he tries to get into his escape pod, and then there's a crying girl.
Yep.
And
And I'm okay with all this whole sequence. I like
Right.
this introduction to Rose. I think this kicks her character off pretty good, I think, where it's like, she's low on the totem pole, but she believes in she's like still willing to do whatever for the resistance because
Uh-huh.
she believes in these heroes. And then this is Finn, particularly from the first movie where he's still pretty self-serving and
Mhm.
trying to just get by, and he's trying to quote unquote escape to go find Rey.
right.
And then her character is like, nah, bro.
You're
I'm
not
going to
doing that.
zap you. You're going to get zapped.
Right. Then they kind of they talk, right, and they come up with their plan.
Yeah, which
To
it's a
That all seemed
turn it
kind of like
weird.
we don't know how to introduce
Yeah.
this plot any other way.
right. And so they're like, okay, we figure out that if we get a code breaker and we're able to get on the ship, and you know the ship because you were a custodian on it, and then we can get in there, and then we can
Mhm.
shut things down.
Yeah, which
With
he
it.
was. We knew he was a custodian, but
Right.
he was on Snoke's ship because
I-
we haven't seen Snoke's ship until now.
He's just in a lot of places.
He's in a lot of places. Doing a lot
Because
of things.
Finn needs something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they go to Poe, and they're like, "Hey, this is a good idea, right?" Oh, also in this time,
Blue
Leia
hair
comes
lady.
back and is knocked out, and in comes Laura Dern, whose character is
Blue hair lady.
yeah,
With long neck.
purple hair lady,
Oh, purple.
who does I don't know. She's just like she's not mean. She's not strict. She just does nothing.
She's
Yeah.
just the least helpful or like she's now
like,
a leader, and she's just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna lead you guys. Just not gonna tell you
I'm
at
not
all
gonna-
what my plan is. Like,
Right.
this is her plan is not something that she would have to keep secret.
Right. Exactly.
She could completely say like, this is how I'm gonna do it, and then everyone would be like, no, don't, okay,
right.
and
So eventually, they get to the point where the biggest part in this movie is just a slow speed chase.
yeah,
It's the OJ Bronco chase.
Yeah, well, again, it's like Battlestar, where it's just a slow speed, which I'm kind of all right with. And I felt tense, and it was, I mean, you definitely felt there were stakes because you felt like there was no escape.
So it's kind of like Dunkirk,
Yeah.
where they're going and they're doing gas, but they don't. We're like they're gonna run out of gas and then they're gonna get blown up, but they don't.
Yeah.
Like they don't do anything to build those stakes like
Right.
Dunkirk does so well
Mhm.
to where you're like, oh no.
right. They
They're gonna
try to with the 2 support ships
Right.
losing gas,
Yes.
but it's like they don't do anything like the First Order sending in like additional like little TIE fighters or
Mhm.
anything.
Right. Which
They-
were able to get through their shields and blow
Right.
things up very easily.
Right.
They have no ships
Mhm.
left to defend them.
Yeah. Like
I-
it doesn't make a ton. Like it's like here's an idea that would be cool to kind of keep everything busy while having stakes the whole time.
And you say keep everything busy. That's kind of what I thought about this movie. It was just like things to keep everything busy.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Right.
I don't know. It just didn't feel like the space battle stuff didn't really feel like it had much substance. I mean, it was
Yes.
cool, but it felt like the most important stuff was going on with Luke and Rey
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
And then we kept going back to this where we had to have a million scenes of Poe going up to Laura Dern and being
Yeah.
like, whoa, why aren't we doing anything?
Mhm.
And her being like, I'm in charge.
right.
And
she like
nothing else.
shits on her. Like this is a guy who your like the resistance fighters believe in. Everybody loves Poe.
Yeah.
And you, the new leader, are just going to do everything you can to belittle him and like say, nah, I'm just gonna do like you. This is like your chain of command. You need to tell him what the hell your plan is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's going to send off your other leaders, and then they're going to be at risk. When you have a plan the whole time, that would work.
And you're right. Yeah, you bring up a good point because she knows that people respect him, even though he's cocky and arrogant fly boy or whatever, and
Yeah.
people are going to follow him. She should know that. Like, hey, this guy is someone people are going to follow, so maybe I shouldn't try to start a mutiny.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So then
I did think it was good development though that he does learn that maybe he is wrong.
Right.
about-
right.
No,
yeah.
I think Poe's character arc is still good.
yeah.
I still really like Poe
Mhm.
from the first one.
Yeah.
But I think I wrote down my likes and dislikes.
Yeah,
and like
same
the
here.
first thing I wrote was, second thing I wrote was, Laura Dern. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah.
Your character stinks.
Like she doesn't do anything.
No.
She doesn't get mad. She's not like
No.
interesting in any way.
And she ends it with, I like him. Like,
Right.
shut up. No,
Why?
you don't.
You do not like it.
she's-
Make it where you don't like him. It's
yeah.
It's one of those things where they're trying to make you side with one character in the script, so they write a character. It's like this is a weird analogy, but I think it was the 3rd season of The Office where you had what's her name? Oh my God.
Oh, I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about. The British lady?
No, lady from Parks and Rec, the girl from Parks and
Oh,
Rec.
Oh, Rashida Jones.
Rashida
Rashida
Jones. You had Rashida
And,
Jones.
not Ann Perkins.
No. You had Rashida Jones in the 3rd season. I think it was the 3rd season of The Office or the 4th season where it was a love triangle between her Jim, and
Jim
Pam,
Mhm.
and you couldn't decide which one, and they were all sweet together. And the final episode, Rashida Jones is a bitch, and they
Yeah.
only did that just so you're like, okay, Jim and Pam.
Yeah,
cool.
I was Team
Yeah.
Sheeta the whole way because
Yeah,
Rashida's
Rashida Jones.
a special woman.
I'm kind of pro Pam though, so
Yeah.
you know.
So their
So
love is real.
Anyway.
So Finn and Rose go to Poe and they
Yeah.
say, "Hey, we got this plan." And Poe's like, "All right, all we need is someone to crack this code. Let me ask Maz Kanata." So
Yeah, that
we
is
get the
so-
Maz Kanata callback that everybody was
I didn't like
hoping
that
for.
at
I
all.
was into it. I love Maz.
not.
She's just like fighting for no reason.
know what she's
she
doing.
She's like, "Oh yeah, I fucked a guy
Yeah.
who
I
knows
love
how to
it.
do this." I don't get it. Like why?
She was just making all these weird faces in the
Because
camera.
man, Maz is tight.
And
Maz is just tight.
and then they they leave. They eject their pod or whatever, and I don't know, the Resistance just like isn't. Not the Resistance. The First Order just isn't paying attention.
Guess not.
Well, they're not tracking the little boys.
Right.
There's a lot. I'll save that for later.
Okay. So then we go to Acto, which is where Rey and Chewbacca and R2-D2 are on the planet, and we were left off the last movie with Rey giving Luke the lightsaber. There's a big sweeping shot. It's an awesome scene. And so now we pick up back where we left. And what's going to happen? What has Luke been up to? And he just takes the lightsaber and he throws it over his shoulder.
I
love that.
No lie, called it.
That's great.
She handed him the
great.
lightsaber, and I don't remember if I was looking at you or Kurt, but I went like literal, like what
Toss.
he did, toss it over the shoulder.
But you did that as a joke. Like, wouldn't it be ridiculous if that was...
I thought it was gonna happen. I was like, this is teed up because I had already felt the way that they were like sprinkling in gags. I was like,
yeah,
okay, this might be what happened.
Fits in.
Like, I still was a little bit shocked, but it's like I saw that come. Yeah, it fits in with the movie.
It fits with the movie. It definitely does.
It's not just a gag. I mean, it seems like a gag, but it
it is.
Yeah.
It was.
This whole movie was about subverting expectations, and they kind of did it very ham-fistedly.
They did it over and over and over.
Because every time you think, okay, I know, it's the opposite of what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I'm cool with that. I want that to be the case, but they could have done that maybe a little more gracefully.
Yeah. Other than that, I really enjoyed the time on the island.
I love all the Luke stuff.
The Luke and Rey stuff I thought was good.
So Luke is living in his little hut, and he goes, and there's a collection of creatures,
which
that you get.
I like. I like all the creatures. I think the Porgs are cool creatures, and I think the little helper alligator frog ladies are cool creatures.
It is the best Star Wars movie with lactation in it.
Yep.
Yeah, you see where the blue milk comes from.
Oh yeah, Luke just squeezes it.
Milk.
You just focus on the animals.
I think that's where I was getting calls from Jake, so I was looking at my phone under my shirt, so I might have missed some of that, but
yeah.
Man. Okay, so the one moment in this movie that I was like, hell yeah. Luke sees R2 and he's like, what's going on? And he plays that original message from Leia. And that was like, that hit me like so hard. I was like, oh my God, that's like awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good, he's like, that's a cheap shot or something. It's like, that's a good use of like comedy. That's something that you can say.
Right. Also, that's a good use of just calling back or like nostalgia. It's not like, hey, you remember this thing from it's like, no, that's a really significant.
This is a reason for him not to just continually say no.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a good piece of like calling back to the original trilogy and all that too.
Yes.
It's really well done.
So now Kylo Ren and Rey are having psychic conversations,
which I'm okay with. Actually, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I think it works.
Yeah,
it's one of my one of my bigger takes, one of my bigger likes for the movie. And what I like about each kind of successive movie is finding out all the other possibilities. Of using the Force,
like floating in space.
Yeah, that one is not so much. No, again, I like the ability. I don't like this scenario.
Okay.
Like I don't like her just being no spacesuit, just exploded out of a spaceship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think being able to bridge two people, whereas before we've seen like kind of a feeling, but actually kind of like metaphysically or whatever, like transform, like taking people and moving them somewhere else. Like when he, after one of their conversations, when Ren has the water on his hand, which then leads to one of the most insane transitions in the entire franchise, where he squeezes his palm and all of a sudden it's a funnel almost through his hand.
Yeah,
but
so I generally liked it. Him with his shirt off, I was just like, ugh.
For the girls, for the girlfriends coming in.
You know Adam Driver was lobbying for that shot.
That was in his contract.
Bulking up.
Dude, he he's always been like a big guy, but dude, he is even rippeder than
He's
you
got
would
those
think.
those big
He doesn't. Yeah.
shoulders.
He's broad. He's
he
like
doesn't have much going from the neck up, but the neck down, he's got it.
what are you trying to say, Trey?
He's kind of an ugly dude.
So then we get the two different accounts of what happened, what made Kylo Ren
Yeah.
turn against.
There's three different accounts.
Right.
There's three.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's like Luke's first take,
Yes,
right?
then his take, then
And what actually,
Luke's third
which
take.
I liked that.
Yeah.
I think that did a
Yeah.
really good job of adding to both Kylo Ren's character.
Perspectives.
Yeah, just how they saw what went down
Yeah.
and how that shaped both of them.
Yes.
It really adds like credence to the way that they are
Mhm.
now.
I totally get why Mark Hamill is not happy with what they did with Luke
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Well, he wanted Luke to be more of a hero and come back and help everybody, and
Right.
he wanted to be the savior. And who doesn't want your character to be the savior? And
Right,
Come back?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why Mark Hamill would be upset with it.
Yeah.
I think they could have done it in a way that he
They
was
could've.
still like a virtuous hero, but I think for what the movie is, it worked for
Mhm.
me.
Mm-hmm. So and then in the middle of all that, Rey gets taught about the Force and
And I love
does
the
some lightsaber.
Yeah, I love the the Jedi is something about a Jedi is stoked in failure. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Luke addresses that. Hey, the Jedi's history is failure,
yes,
and all, which is great. Which is
Yeah.
kind of what I think was that you that brought it up after the prequels, saying that the Jedi are
They're
just
just
like complete.
shitty. Yeah.
Complete failures and
Yeah.
imbeciles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then Rey's just like, well, guess I'm not going to be able to get this guy to go.
Yeah.
And so they leave. There's also a scene where Chewbacca is like about to eat a cooked porg.
Yeah, which
And then there's a porg that
here's
looks
my
out.
thing with the porgs. I think at least with the Ewoks, they had an actual piece of the plot. Like they actually were significant to the story. The porgs were just there
Porgs are there to be cute and add
buy
lightness.
and sell toys.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson has a weird thing for animals in this movie.
Yeah,
But like,
Yeah.
dude, like on their own, all the creatures he creates, I think are great. I think
The porgs didn't look good.
no, they did
No,
not.
but I think they were objectively cute as shit. But like, I thought, later, the ones that are introduced later, and I thought, like I said, the caretaker little creatures on the island, I thought they were all cool. Like I'm into that's like the stuff that I'm into with
Yeah.
Star Wars. I like the world.
I was fine with the
Right.
caretakers. Those little weird, look like they're from like
Yeah,
Eastern Europe.
I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went in expecting to hate every moment of porgs, and I didn't hate the porgs until they kept just getting in the popping up everywhere.
Yeah, if you go and you have, wacky space creatures all around, that's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't need. It's a short scene where Chewbacca's gonna eat the pork.
Yeah.
That's also Chewbacca's biggest scene in the
Yeah,
whole movie.
he was
Which
so
is-
underutilized.
Which is disappointing.
Yes.
Uh,
I think this is going way ahead, but I think these little ice foxes they're very well
Right.
done. Like they had
Yeah,
an
The ice
essential
foxes
parts
are
of the plot.
really
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's super innovative.
Yeah.
Like that's just a really cool
Yeah.
idea.
so then Rey leaves,
Yes.
and because she touches Kylo Ren's hand and
Mhm.
says, "If I get on that ship, I'm gonna get him to turn."
Gonna
And
get him.
then he says, "No, you're gonna be the one that
turns.
joins up with me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cool. So
I'm
then
kind of
so
okay
then
with
Luke
that.
goes.
It's different.
It's
you know?
very Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's almost that exact
Yeah.
thing where there's Vader, the Emperor, and Luke
Yes.
goes there and he says, "I'm going to turn you,
no, I'm
Father.
gonna turn
You're
you. Yeah.
doing it." So that I was like, but the way they ended up doing it is different.
Yeah.
Then Luke takes a torch, and he's like, "I'm gonna burn
Everything to
I'm
the
gonna
ground.
burn the Jedi Order to the ground."
I'm gonna burn all the Brigsby Bear movies.
and then Yoda,
Yes.
Puppet Yoda back.
Yes.
I am
no puppet.
I'm very glad that they did Empire Yoda.
I'm very
Because-
glad.
It makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
That's who he was.
Yes.
Right.
Especially to Luke.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and especially when you're doing it sequentially, it's fun. I mean, I guess he can be a certain way before all of the Jedi are wiped out and he goes into
Right.
seclusion. So if they had made him change back to pre-Empire Yoda,
Right.
then it would have been insane. But
And also, and I you guys aren't saying this, but there are people online saying like, this is not the Luke I remember. Well, I mean, same thing kind of happened with Yoda, where he goes to seclusion and goes apeshit. This is
Right.
what happened to Luke. He went into seclusion after something traumatic, and he went a little crazy.
And the same people are saying like, oh, you're just rehashing all old ideas, but then they want all the characters to stay so static.
Yes, exactly.
Like, the characters have to change.
People, and I don't like saying that because I think there is definitely 100% room for criticism. We're doing it right now, but I think people they get that thing if they want change, but they really don't want change. They want things to be the same.
I do think that people forget that Yoda is fucking insane in Empire.
Yes,
and
crazy.
He does, and everything that he does in the movie. There's so many moments that are funny for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think, true to who Yoda is, but because in Jedi, all he does is he gets sick and dies.
Yeah, Empire. That's who he was.
He imparts some wisdom,
and because I always, before we rewatch the movies, I always thought like a lot of that Yoda stuff was in Jedi, but no, it's all in Empire. Really, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then Laura Dern is like, we're gonna secretly sneak some people out of the this using the little transports. And Poe starts the mutiny saying, oh, this is cowardly, this is gonna get us killed, there's no shields on these things. So this is just more of Poe and Laura Dern fighting without any real reason. Meanwhile, we get Space Vegas Take 2. We saw it in Blade Runner 2049, and now we see it again in The Last Jedi.
Probably better in Blade Runner, right?
I think, definitely. This
is differing opinions because the Cantina scenes are always going to be my favorite scenes in any Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
So this was my favorite scene.
I
loved the jizz.
Yeah. The jizz music.
Yes, there's Reggae Island jizz playing as they get there.
And it's awesome.
Finn, Rose, and BB-8 recruit the pirate and computer hacker DJ at a casino on Canto Bight to help them disable the tracking device.
Is this one of is this like what was the character from The Leftovers? Is this one of his like dreams or
Kevin?
Kevin, is this one of his like is he dead here? And this is him.
Yeah, so Justin Theroux's there. There's a bunch of little cameos here and there. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's the alien that's like, they parked on the beach and I told them not to.
I love that guy. Favorite character.
This is the least necessary scene.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since they're looking for a guy who says, like, hold on, I'm on a roll, and that's it.
Right.
But they happen to find another guy. Like, it's made out to be this insane, like what they're trying to unlock inside of Snoke's ship is supposed to be this insane thing. Only one guy can do it, but seemingly any guy that just happens to be locked up with you can also do it.
Right.
It completely eliminates like the reason for them being there.
Right. Mm-hmm. But they do get to see that horse racing is bad and that you need to free the horses, and also they have little rings to show that they're part of the resistance.
But I will say, as messy as this whole B plot line is, and like this whole sequence on Canto Bight, I guess, I mean, I don't think it's the only way it could have been done, but it does, jumping ahead, introduce you to basically like there are still like kids out there, there are some people out there who will be joining up with the resistance.
And I listened to this one reviewer, Chris Stuckman. I've mentioned him before on this podcast. He's really good, does really good videos, and he did a review of this, and he kind of brought up an interesting thing. Like, and his review was very positive, but he mentioned this is a very slow part, and he mentions that he refers to this documentary of making of episode 1, and George Lucas is sitting there going, well, I need to remove that scene, but that means, I have to have it in there because otherwise this won't work, this won't work.
Right.
That was sort of how this was, is Where this scene, it was meaningless. It was, you kind of bogged things down, but you had to have it. You had to have them meet that guy there. You had to see those kids to maybe set up other things. So
I think you didn't need this scene exactly.
No.
But you needed something that serves the same purpose.
Yeah.
Without being just so distracting.
Mm-hmm.
Them escaping with Benicio's character in this, I think, is pretty blech.
Yeah,
like I think
he's a good actor. But
I think he started out. I was like, okay, this could be cool. I'm also a big Benicio fan.
I'm a huge Benicio fan.
But I think yeah, the way things ultimately went with this character is just so stupid. It's like, this, how can we get rid of this character? Okay, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So they go and they release the horse cats.
They look like the Last Guardian, little Trico from the Last Guardian.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of what I thought it was for a second.
They release those, and then they all go crazy, and then Finn is just like, I think this is the worst line of the entire movie, saying that, I don't care that our mission failed, at least we stuck it to those guys, or whatever he says. Where it's just like, oh yeah, we let some horses step on your car. Like, I don't care.
Right.
It's like a total departure from him, who's just like, I gotta keep Rey safe. This is kind of all about Rey.
That was just like trying to add gravity to this scenario,
which is
not great.
So bad. So then they get on the ship, they fly away, they get into Snoke's ship, and then Benicio's like, nah, I tricked you, which Benicio del Toro's character is always like can you trust him? Is he not? Like in any kind of movie. And then Captain Phasma, she's back.
She's back.
Yes.
Ready for more.
Mm-hmm.
And bad BB-8 is there.
No. Darth BB-8 is awesome. I was like, freaking hell yeah, Darth BB-8. That's so great.
I'm all for Darth BB-8. I want the toy BB-8 in the trash can over his head though.
Yeah,
that's what I
great.
want.
No, I mean, when you think about it, like in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Like there are multiple kind of like R2s, and they look a little bit different.
I always like the red one that was supposed to be bought.
Yeah.
I like
have we seen bad droids before besides like from like Attack of the Clones and stuff, like the little helper droids, not like full on like army droids?
I'm trying to remember. I don't.
You see like those little Roombas? They look like little like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like almost like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just feel like. I think this is like the first, because we didn't see any like bad R2s.
There was like
were there?
torture droids.
Yeah.
That would come in and stuff like that.
But so it's interesting to see like these droids that are specifically for like helping, where we haven't really seen them before.
Yeah.
I'm all for Darth BB-8.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with some of this. Yeah, I like that stuff. I get you got to make cool characters, and it's maybe sometimes unfair to be like, well, that just assault. Yeah, well, I mean, look, anything you put in there is going to have a toy, so it doesn't really matter.
And it did give me enough hope, like, oh, maybe these BB-8s got some sort of, like, droid connection. Where
they're having their own Rey Kylo Ren thing.
Yeah. Or, like, where bad BB-8 is going to chase after good BB-8 and save him.
Maybe it'll be like...
Or her, whatever it.
They'll make Wall-E. It's like a Wall-E sequel.
And I didn't even mention it. We got our first... not our first, but we got a really good BB-8.
Oh yeah, when he sticks his head in the thing.
Yeah. That's like the very beginning.
Yeah.
I was about to call for you to do the BB-8 noise. I'm glad you did it, Spencer.
Yeah,
we need that from every show now.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if we got like a really good one of those in Force Awakens. Yeah. So they started out with that pretty early, so I was pretty stoked.
So then Rey also gets onto Snoke's ship.
Mm-hmm. Somehow,
and then like. When you open up your space pod and your boy got handcuffed, it's bad news.
Yup.
Also, Chewie's just able to just like fly in, drop her off, fly wherever.
You got it.
Like what?
On a massive ship with like hundreds of cannons.
Yes.
These people are sneaking in.
So Kylo Ren takes her to Snoke, and all the little pods are being blown out of the sky. And they have the little thing.
Like
it's just like Jedi. It's exactly like Jedi. And then Snoke's like, come on, Rey. be on our side, and he's like forced.
Don't you know who
pulling
your
our
parents are?
right?
Yeah.
There was way too much of that. Like you have to like introduce like
Snoke
this is
powerful.
Snoke. Well, no, not even that, but just Rey's like flaw of wanting to know who her parents are.
Right.
There was just like one or two too many instances
Yeah.
of like, don't you want to know who your parents are? Huh?
It's also funny because there's so many instances where, like everyone is called by their full name. It's like Poe Dameron, Ace Pilot, Kylo Ren, and then Snoke comes in, walks Rey in, and he's like, "Hello, Rey." Like they're just on like a casual, like it's just like, oh, she doesn't have a last name because she's just Rey.
Yeah, it seems like when you see someone who you like went to college with, and
Right.
you're just trying to remember their name.
Yeah.
Hey, Rey.
and that's the end. So then she's constantly like, "Hey, Kylo, please, dude."
But
Do the right
I will
thing.
say, you keep on going. Wait, well, I think you can say something before I give
Well,
this take.
I'm not entirely sure. So.
I was gonna say I think this is like the first, I guess, really big like fight sequence we get.
Yes. So this is, I feel like, an hour and a half in the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was halfway through.
and
probably.
this is the point where things kind of pick up for me,
Right.
because I think the first hour and a half I'm very drained.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they wrote that like that whole plot line with
Why do they have to make this
Finn
2
and
hours?
Rose.
and
with
a
Finn and
half?
Rose. I think they were trying to. They wrote that thinking like, oh, these will supply the action beats that people need to kind
Yeah.
of stay pumped up for this movie, and it didn't. That part didn't hit. But like after this point, I do think, especially the action sequences are
Mhm.
awesome.
I think they didn't know what to do with Finn,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
and
see that.
they were like, well, we established him, we have to see what's going on
Yeah.
with him,
Yeah.
and they just kind of cobbled together a plot.
Which we'll get to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to it.
So then
that was an awesome fight scene.
then Snoke is like, all right, you got to kill Rey, and then
which is cool.
he
Which
goes-
is like evil as shit.
right.
Yeah.
He goes, holds up his lightsaber, and cuts Snoke in half.
As he's saying, you will kill the one you hate, or
right?
whatever.
Exactly, the one that is holding you back, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, which I think you and I have. I think you hate this kind of whole chain of events ultimately, whereas I am not as negative on it as you are.
I like the betrayal and him being evil anyway. I don't like him killing Snoke.
He kills.
Right.
He kills.
I don't
This-
like Snoke dying.
This I can agree with. Yeah, I think the treatment of
Snoke
is
has
terrible.
been set up as the big bad guy.
Yeah.
He's the Emperor. The Emperor
Yes.
dies in the very last act of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's kind of how he's been set up.
Yes.
And maybe if Rey kills him, it's different. And
Yeah.
then you can replace him with Kylo Ren. But the fact that Kylo Ren holds off on killing Leia and then actively kills Snoke,
Right.
And he's
it's just like, ugh.
Right. I think there needed to be some I think like it completely diminishes any role Snoke has played in these movies, whereas he is able to just be wiped off and we don't get anything from him.
and you
really.
don't know how he came into power.
Right.
You don't know, like, because you assume, and all jokes and memes aside, you assume he's some kind of figure that you might have heard of before or
Right.
something.
Yes.
Right, well,
there's-
he's talked
what's
about
some
he's-
sort of history of
Yes.
Snoke.
He's talked about online, like when I was reading some of those reviews, that people are like, "We've been let up for Snoke for so long." So, like, is this something? Is Snoke a character that's like been in
No,
lore, or is
no.
this introduced in Force Awakens?
Just
Introduced-
introduced in Force Awakens.
Okay,
You
But
just
still.
assume there's something else.
It's like, why is this guy the most powerful?
Yeah.
Like, how is there this enormously powerful Sith that just kind of came out of nowhere? There's
Yeah.
no talk, because Luke constantly says, oh, Snoke had already gotten to
Yeah.
Ben, and I couldn't do anything about it. You don't get any, but like, how did he know Snoke?
Yeah.
How was Snoke infecting Kylo Ren? You don't get any of it.
Yeah.
He's killed, and then they kill all the guards, which is an awesome fight scene.
Yes.
yeah,
And they do a lot
Yeah.
of cool stuff.
a lot of cool deaths.
Yeah. The one where he turns
Yeah.
on the lightsaber and runs it right through the guy's head.
That
is
was great.
Is great.
I do think I'm not sure if this is like one of the gorier, like there's not excessive blood,
Right.
but as far as, I mean, you see limbs all the time.
Yeah.
No
limbs in this.
There was some like heads.
Yeah, heads.
Yeah.
and severed torso, I guess.
Yeah, and severed torso. There was some, I think the gore was good. The fight sequences were great. I do think the death of Snoke is something that should have been saved for the third movie.
I just don't necessarily agree with them taking Kylo Ren, having him kill him, and then still having him be bad. Because his thing now is, we got to burn everything down. We can start new, and you'll join me by my side, and we'll get rid of everything else that used to be, and we'll build up a new society or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's essentially his thing. And then Rey's like, no, I can't. And then just immediately he's like, your parents weren't anybody. And that's Rey's entire drive for the entire first movie.
Yeah.
So you just undercut her entire character for one whole movie of trying to figure out who it was. I'm fine with her not having, like, her parents being nobodies.
Yeah.
But it's just like gone. It's just like addressed and gone. It's done with the same kind of thing where in Empire they talk about, well, there's another Jedi. We still have another chance if Luke dies. And then it's like they get to Return of the Jedi and they're like, we can either introduce somebody else or I don't know, maybe it's just Leia. That's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
It felt like they were kind of like, we got to figure out who her parents are.
They kind of blew their load as far as like anything to kind of be a mystery. There's no mystery when this movie ends.
Which is kind of crazy because, I mean, it's that there are like endless possibilities for who her parents could have been, or even just how it could have been addressed.
Right.
Or this was not handled well, which is sad because it was like I thought it was a really cool sequence up until that point. I mean, with the exclusion of like losing Snoke for nothing.
And then they go and they have the force battle over the lightsaber and it breaks, which is like, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's just like, your parents sold you they were drunks and they sold you for booze money, so Unkar Plutt gave them 5 quarter portions. One baby, 5 quarter portions for you. But I don't know. So I feel like the big mysteries coming out of Force Awakens is kind of like, what's the deal with Snoke?
Yeah.
Who are Rey's parents? I think those are the two biggest things, and like what
Luke,
happened to
what's
Luke?
Yeah, what happened to Luke?
So I think what happened to Luke is addressed fairly well.
Or what happened to Kylo Ren too?
Right, I think those are intertwined.
Okay, yeah.
I think the Snoke and the Rey thing are totally, and it also feels like that's why it feels like this is the end of the movie.
Yeah. It does. Feel
And so this it's like, okay, so we've wrapped up these two big mysteries. The big bad guy's been defeated.
Yeah.
And then there's still another hour of this movie.
Yeah, but I do think that the next hour is pretty good.
The next hour is pretty good. Yes, I would agree. But it is also very battle heavy.
Yeah, which I think
is fine.
Which are when I'm walking away, these are the things that I'm enjoying are the world and the battles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and how it's shot. I think it's beautifully shot.
Yeah.
With the sand and the sand turning red.
Which I'm pretty sure when I look at it, I mean there are salt flats other places, but it might have been shot at where we've been to these salt flats in Bonneville, Utah. It's amazing out there. It's just flat white, and there's like some mountains in the background. You can take your car out there.
Oh, wow.
It highly recommend it.
It looks fantastic. That scene.
Yeah.
Also, I read this. Notice that when on the sand when Luke walks, he does not make those imprints, and when Kylo does,
Oh,
you do see the red
okay.
imprints.
Yeah, that's cool.
I read that too.
So so then they all go. They end up making it to Crate, which I guess is the planet. And then Benicio del Toro, they're like, all right, so this is what we did. And he's like, no, actually, I told him where they went to. I figured that out too. Not only did I betray you, but I also figured out their entire plan, and I sold it to him. Oops. So I don't know if he's set up to be a bigger character later on.
At this point, I would hope not.
Yeah. I think
like,
he's just a pirate.
Yeah,
you know?
At this point I would hope not, because like I think I would have been cool with him having a bigger role in the next movie, but I got left with like a just pretty like Benicio, why? I mean, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, Benicio.
So then Kylo's I guess his role now is to tear down all structures, but he's doing it with the biggest structure in the. I just don't understand him going bad, good for like 10 minutes, and then immediately going back to.
Which I get.
I don't think he was good.
I don't think he was
he's-
going good. I think he was going to his idea of like this is what needs to happen, and it's not necessarily good, but it does involve getting rid of Snoke.
Right.
He
I just,
wanted to be Snoke.
but I don't understand. Like, what is his problem with Snoke other than not wanting to kill Rey?
I think he didn't want to kill Rey. I think maybe you saw the way he like reacted to him calling him a little boy. He was just like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I guess
I am
that's
more
true.
powerful than you think. It was like a
And
less whiny Hayden Christensen,
and I'll
and you
tell-
actually see the demeaning over like leader.
No, I think you even might have said this, Adam, or you. I think this is how Anakin should have been done. Kylo Ren is how Anakin should have been done. I think.
I think
Yeah.
I think he's a real good.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of parts in this movie where things are just thrown out from the first one.
Yeah.
Where like he's gonna destroy his helmet.
Yeah.
And like first of all, his helmet voice is way different in this one too.
It's more Adam
It's-
Driver-y.
I feel like
I
it's
thought.
felt way more Bane, whereas it's
but
it's a little
I
more-
got more of his actual voice in it.
Right.
I thought,
that's
which we only
side
get it
plot.
for like a minute.
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
It's like one scene.
Yeah, it's the very first scene, and he goes and destroys it. So then they find them on the salt planet, which
Mhm.
is pretty. For a while, did you think it was Hoth?
No, I did not.
I was thinking it may have
Yeah.
been Hoth originally.
They've done a good job of not recycling.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And also, I remember seeing the trailers with the red, so I knew it was something different.
oh yeah,
Just,
yeah.
I don't know.
So then they go. Laura Dern turns around the ship and
Yeah.
goes light speed.
That was
Into
pretty
the ship.
awesome.
It was a cool shot. The
Yeah.
like
It's-
different
it's a really cool
angles
shot.
with the bright light
Yeah.
exploding.
I don't know if you guys heard it, but there's a guy
Oh, yeah.
kind of in the front to the right who gasped
Yeah,
like he
I heard.
fucking came.
I didn't hear that.
He was just like, oh, like he was
so cool.
he was
Yeah.
so excited about it. I don't
Each his
know
own.
why don't they do that all the time.
What, gasp and come in the movie theater?
Why don't more people come in
Well,
movie
that was like
theaters?
suicide, though. Like,
Right,
yeah.
it is, but almost every mission they ever go on is considered a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so all those ships can jump to light
Well, it's
speed. There's
because
like
they know in their
shields and stuff.
contracts they've signed up for 2 more films.
Right.
so,
No,
yeah.
I get this is a quote unquote plot
Right,
hole,
sure.
which is like, why don't they do this
What-
all the time?
Why
But-
didn't they just get the Eagles to put the ring
right,
in their-
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of those.
it's one of those where it's forgivable, but
Right.
it's almost worth it for the shot. The shot
Yeah.
is
Oh,
pretty,
yeah.
is so good.
Yeah, and it's the fact that you're in space and you don't
That's
hear
the
it.
only time, because
Yeah.
there's so many explosions,
Yeah.
but that's the only time they did the no. I think it was worth it that one
Yeah,
time.
it was
Let's not
cool.
do it.
And it would have been a million times cooler if it was anybody but Laura Dern.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think Laura Dern's a good actress. I think,
I think
they
she's
could,
a really good actress.
They could have made
Yeah.
her great, but they
Again.
chose to just make her secretive
Mhm.
and like just not leader-like at all.
I think
Maybe
they were just doing that to kind of make you side with Poe's character. I think.
right. I think you could have set up Leia and her as friends.
Yeah.
At least a little bit before. So then after, when they're like, "May the Force be," oh wait, no, you me.
Here's the thing. I think what could have done that they could have done to make Laura Dern's whole character arc better, or the whole story. I think I would have been a better writer here. Is that first instance he's coming off, maybe Poe's coming off too almost like I should have been in power
Yeah.
now,
Right.
like, and then she's like, hang on, let me like get things straight.
Yeah.
And then that second time when he comes up and is like, and so the second time he comes up and is like, hey, what's the plan? They have already kind of done their secret mission. And then she tells him what she's planning on doing, driving the ship into Snoke's ship. And then that creates some more tension of, we have to
Yeah.
make sure that our people are off that ship
Yeah.
first.
Right.
Like that, then that would have made Laura Dern's character a little bit better and less just like secretive and
Yeah.
strange. And it could have added a little bit more like emotional pull and added a little bit of stakes as far as we got to get these people off the ship for like right now.
Yeah.
Uh, It says BB-8 frees Rose and Finn, which I don't really remember. I know they beat
Oh,
Captain Phasma.
So I think that's when that's after there's the explosion in or something, and BB-8 comes in on the.
Oh, right.
This
is not.
Walker.
This is not when
Top
he
Walker,
he shoots coins at people. That's back on the,
Yeah,
on
that's
the
back in the
casino
casino.
planet, right?
Don't
And then he-
don't
and then
trash coin shooting.
and then
That
he-
was great.
Blows his gun. Yeah. So then they beat Captain Phasma again, who is once again made a total bitch in this movie.
Yeah, I think Captain Phasma was a great character who deserved more opportunities to like win something.
Yeah. Do something to
Do
prove
yeah.
her. I think General Hux is kind of the same way
Yeah.
because he's just like always.
Yeah, I think he was definitely neutered in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
more
he
so
was
than-
he was much cooler or like
Yeah.
more like seemed more powerful
Yes.
and Force Awakens.
But yeah, Phasma is just like.
Phasma's dead now, though, right? Yeah.
Right. I saw an article that was just like Ryan Johnson accidentally killed Captain Phasma because I guess he was being asked about it or something, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess she would still be on that ship and probably dead," which is just
You didn't mean to kill her. She's supposed to come back. Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, and there
So
are
then-
there are some shots during that. Like there's like a close up of Finn. I think it's like he's looking at Phasma falling, and there are just like clouds of smoke behind him, and it's like that's not how this would look. I think
Right.
It was strange.
So then the First Order arrives, and they're like, "Do they have any ships?" And they have these old speeders, and them dragging on the ground with the red.
Yeah.
And when they have the like new AT-ATs go and shoot at them, and they kind of like all scramble and stuff, and you can see the paths that they took. I think that's really cool.
That was
looking.
neat.
That's really awesome looking. And then Rey shows up in the Millennium Falcon and draws the TIE fighters away, and you get more of the. And then it's like, oh, they really hate that ship.
Yeah, they shoot that piece of junk out of the sky.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't really get why. I guess Kylo knows Rey's in it, and that's why he wants it, or he hates it because it reminds him of his dad.
Maybe.
A little bit of both, maybe.
I guess I just
Whatever. Don't get it.
So then Finn goes, and they're like, they're going to use this cannon. It's going to blow open our blast doors, and it's going to be bad. And Finn makes the decision to save the entire rebellion by crashing into it. But then that girl, she has feelings for him.
Yeah,
and
that-
she's helping
I
each
was-
other.
I was like,
Dude,
I
yes.
loved that sequence. I was
Me
like,
too.
It
holy
was-
crap, this
They're going
is
to do it.
this is something.
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
And then
That would have been powerful.
right, but like, I could have taken like maybe he's able to eject. I don't know.
I
Like,
think they should have.
Like I don't.
If they really wanted to set it up, it would have been Rey is somehow in danger somewhere,
Yeah.
and he goes and he flies into it and dies. And I think that kind of solves the problem with, what do we do with Finn? Because they have a big Finn problem right now.
Yeah. But I think they have a Finn problem. But I think as far as making the movie like emotionally like interesting, have Finn actually suicide mission it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like financially, business wise, that's
No.
like
Right.
not smart.
He's and this is kind of I don't know how much this means. I think he's a big proponent on a lot of their marketing too, especially with like the video games and
Yes.
stuff. Like he is big in that.
Right.
So they
I
can't.
mean, he's the male lead,
yes.
really.
Yeah.
And he's the only black character or the only, besides, I guess, Rose now, the only character of color.
Yeah.
There's a series of people here and there as they go through.
Right. But like, as far as like the big woman,
Yes.
and also, I don't know. I think, you can't get rid of him.
No.
So I think there could have been, maybe it's Rose who does the suicide mission.
Yeah.
Or maybe she,
Because
like,
by that time you are emotionally invested in her enough to where it wouldn't just be like a one-off character that's just gone now. I think that would have been.
Oh,
better.
I also forgot to talk about how she has her necklace that reminds her of her sister, and
just
they're like, oh
happens.
no, we need this to I need this to crack the code or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benicio, and then Finn is like, what? No, that's really important to her. And she's like, oh, I don't give a shit. Take it.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. And then for him to take it and then use it and then just be like, all right, here you go. You take it back. And it's like none of those have any emotional weight at all. They're not treated with emotional weight like they should. But anyway.
Is she dead?
That's Rose?
Yeah.
They brought her back and he's like, get her a med pack.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're
She's alive.
weighing their options.
We'll see. Because she kisses Finn.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not
Save
into
the
that.
one, like, it's not killing the ones you hate. It's saving the ones you love.
It's about the friends you made along the way.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. But then she kisses him.
Yeah, and he's not
and
into it.
It's
He's
I
about
don't
that.
want, like,
No.
like,
No,
stop it.
no. They're not gonna make. He was like definitely not in. Like she kissed him. He was not into it.
Right,
at
because
all.
this
for Ray.
Because this now cues up
Love
like
triangle.
an issue that we're going to have to solve in the next one is a love story.
Yes.
And that's not like I'm not going to Star Wars to get love story.
No.
Yeah.
We already got that with those prequels.
Except for Han and Leia, I'm okay with that one.
That was more of a. That wasn't a triangle though.
No, but that's a love story.
Yeah,
like
right.
that's like cool emotional ties
Yes.
at stakes.
So then Luke shows up to save the day.
Mhm.
And Luke
Yes.
goes, he walks out, and then Kylo
If you
is
strike
like,
me down.
I want all
Yeah.
guns fired at that man.
Here's a question though. So Luke interacts with Leia and
Leia.
everyone, gives her those like little dice.
Right.
What are
those
those
dice?
from?
Yeah.
They're from the
They're
Falcon.
from the Falcon,
But
like he grabs them and they like really show you that he's
Right.
grabbing these dice.
I-
And I have no idea.
I
what
don't-
these are.
I seen a YouTube. I saw a YouTube video that said, "What are these dice?" I didn't click on it, but
Yeah.
I
I think
don't
it's
know.
supposed to be something to be like, oh, Han, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember
At
them.
all.
I don't remember it at all. No. And
Well,
then
we
here's
just watched those. So.
another question.
Yeah.
So it's revealed that he's not actually there, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But he comes back as a younger Luke.
Yeah.
The Luke, he's got the shorter hair and the darker beard, like when
Uh-huh.
he was training Kylo.
Right.
So, why do you think he chooses to come back as this version
I
of
think-
himself?
I think maybe that was the last time Leia saw him.
Yeah.
It might be the last time Kylo saw him. It's sort of to trigger that memory, maybe.
Yeah.
Of the last time they saw him. I could see that.
Yeah. So he goes and he's getting blasted, and then he walks out.
Getting blasted.
Then he walks out.
Getting
and
yes.
he brushes the dirt off his shoulder because he's a big Jay-Z fan.
Yeah. And that got several laughs.
That got a huge pop, which
I was like, that was like I thought a lot of the comedy beats were funny in the movie,
Yeah.
whether they were appropriate or not. That was just like that was like a Disney exec.
it's the
like coming in like this would be great.
It's like the biggest emotional moment where Kylo and Luke meet again, and they're having their big square off, and
Slow.
Like it would have
then-
been. What if he was just like shoulder shrugged and went, huh?
yeah.
Well,
Who, me?
so then Kylo comes and he's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna kill you myself," and then it's been a projection the whole time,
yeah.
which I
their-
think is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
think that's a
their
cool
fight,
idea.
Their fight scene is cool, and just watching him run up and slice through him, and you do have that emotional pulse. Oh, did he just Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Right.
Is he
That's what I
gone?
was expecting the drop
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
cloak.
yeah.
Well, you do get it, but a little later, yeah.
Right, exactly. I don't know what. So Luke dies from like he's not at peace.
No, I thought
Right.
he was at peace.
I think that's I think something that's up for debate is
Because he never really
did it
gets
kill him or did he decide
that
I've done
dying.
all I can do?
I think
Right.
he decided he could do all he could do, and he was ready to go.
That's what I think.
And I think he will be back in the next
Yeah.
one.
As a
As a- yeah,
projection.
projection,
Yes, for sure.
I think he probably will be too. It's just like he doesn't reach a satisfying conclusion
yeah.
with
No,
Kylo.
no.
Yeah, I think I was fine with it because I think he says like I'm going to be with you forever.
Yeah.
And so for me
Yeah.
that's saying Luke's not done here.
Right.
He's going to continue to basically torment Kylo and basically like protect the Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fine with Luke's whole.
Is there no
story
coming
arc.
back for Kylo Ren? Do you think he will at
Yeah.
the very end?
He has to. I
Yeah.
don't like. Then what does
point.
victory look like? What is I mean I guess they've kept Hux around. So
Right.
I just don't know what villain gets established
Right, because
to where it's satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I really don't know. So, man, then they go and they fly off, and then you see the kid.
Yeah. Oh well. First of all, Rey is lifting the rocks, and so they can escape
Oh,
because
yeah.
they follow the little foxes.
Right.
That's cutie foxy
Yeah.
voice.
And
They go and they call back. Using the Force is more than
Lifting
moving
rocks,
which
yeah.
I think is I think that's
That
a
was-
fun through line.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And then you see the kid at the end.
Oh, we didn't even touch on the 12 pork bits we got in the Falcon.
Yeah, there's
Well, we mentioned there was too much.
We mentioned there was a
pork.
lot, but like specifically when
Yeah.
they're going through that whatever they were mining in there, going
Yeah.
through the mines,
yeah.
which is a pretty cool,
That was a cool
pretty
thing.
cool scene. But every time you shoot to the Falcon, the pork's doing something funny, and it was kind of like the from Fate of the Furious.
Why would you bring porgs to another planet if you don't know they can survive on that planet?
That's
Well,
Chewie.
they were in there. They were eating all kinds of
Yeah.
wiring.
laying eggs in the Falcon.
They are a cancer. Those porgs. They need to be
Um,
exterminated.
But yeah, and then they escape, and they're back on the Falcon.
Yeah.
And then what happens after that?
Then they go and they say, "Oh, what are we
This
gonna
is
do? We
Potter."
don't have it. This is the entire Resistance. We're
Yeah.
basically done for." And they're like, "Oh, but
Then Poe was like, "Hey, well, maybe there has to be an escape plan."
the Resistance will live on in everybody's and all the kids, even though they put out their signal and nobody came."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Maybe that's something that's gonna come back where people are. I think
Yeah,
it's about
do-
the proletariat rising up.
So, where does this go from here? Is my question.
Yeah,
I have no idea. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
What do you do with Leia? Because Leia's apparently not in the
She's-
next one.
And hold on, one
Still
more thing.
alive.
I didn't get why didn't Kylo just saw Rey go on the Millennium Falcon fly away, didn't do anything. I didn't get that.
What is he supposed to do?
Movie
He
magic.
Just, hey, stop! I'm gonna kill you. Then she was right there.
Yeah. I don't know. He also tells her, like, "Oh, you already know who your parents were. Think even harder." Which
Yeah, that's-
is another really
And the
bad
whole
one.
like, and the hole she goes into, and she sees a bunch of herself, and
Yeah.
she goes into the magic mirror, and I thought it was gonna
right.
be Snoke. Honestly,
Right.
Did you think that?
I didn't. I thought it was gonna be Snoke as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's. I mean, that kind of sets up
Snoke's
the
my
same
father?
as. Oh, I didn't think that was gonna be her father. I thought it was gonna kind of be like the Darth
Oh.
Vader scene in
Yeah.
the tree
I
in Empire.
thought her seeing herself was like she was like just made.
She was a immaculate
Yeah,
conception.
immaculate. That's what they
I
should have
do-
done.
And I do think
I like immaculate conceptions.
I think there's a lot of the kind of the sense and throughout these movies that basically to be a Force user you have to be this like the son or daughter of a Force
Yeah.
user, or it's like a lineage thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think this does a pretty good job of dispelling that, kind of because it has to,
Yeah,
because there still has to be Force users,
yeah.
and they killed all the Jedi.
I 100% like that she was just born from random people, but why did they need to make that the big
Such a big
secret?
deal.
Yeah,
Also, did they not burn the texts after all? Because
they
opened
burned
the
everything.
they opened the drawer in the end, and it looks like those
It
books.
does look like the same. I don't think
I
they're
don't know.
supposed to be the same, but it did look the same.
It's like why would you put those books in there? You don't have to have any books in that drawer.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's see what else. The kid at the end uses the Force to grab his little
Yeah.
brain. I for a second I thought he was gonna do a fucking Star Wars kid, and I was gonna lose my mind.
I thought he was about to take off on that broom like a witch.
she kind of trips.
Just oh my god.
I thought that was really cool. The use of the Force to grab the broom.
Right. Uh-huh.
But then I thought the ring, he's the resistance,
ring.
was implied and was not needed.
It was not needed. No. So
Who's
anyway,
that kid supposed to be? Just another kid?
I think it's just that
who can
the
use
resistance
Force?
lives on within the hearts and souls of everybody.
My issue is that this didn't set up anything for the next movie.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Other than a Finn Rose Rey love triangle
and
plot.
I think it's almost a good thing because this is Ryan Johnson didn't do the first one, right? It was
It's
J.J.
J.J.
Abrams.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing, whereas Ryan Johnson is not needing to tie things up for someone else.
Yeah.
Maybe that will give him some freedom, but maybe that'll also be a bad thing. I think it can really go either way.
Man, I don't know. Let's see, Lavs and halves.
What do they do with Leia before
well-
we end it?
I have no idea. I don't know what they're doing with anything.
I think they could have left her on that planet somehow.
Yeah.
They could have done something to keep her there. But no.
Is it gonna be a? Because I know, like in Lord of the Rings, Saruman's gonna stay up here for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do that where she's
I
just
always
like
talk about Lord of the Rings. That's kind of my own basis, I guess.
admiraling from
Yeah.
way off.
Yeah.
You could use like voice. You could maybe use like old like voice cuts of her. I don't know.
Yeah, where they're all spread out
Yeah.
and there's no longer just like a central force of the resistance.
Yeah. So should we do how many
Porgs?
surviving resistance members out of 20?
Okay, yeah.
Out of 20, how many surviving resistance members out of 20? So let me think what I would give this.
Can't do halves.
No, I know. Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. So I'd probably give that. Let me see here.
Adam?
16 out of 20.
Okay. Wow, 16 out
Well, I
of
was
20.
thinking I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I was timesing that by 4.
It's a 4 out of 5.
Okay, 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
3.5 out
Or
of
3
5.
out of 5, maybe 3 out of 5. Or wait a minute.
Wait, so that would be a
So 4 out of
14,
5.
right? Because
So
it would be 7 out of 10, 14 out of 20. So you give it 14?
I give it if we're doing it out of 10, I give it like a 6.5 out of 10.
These are not
These don't add up.
So you give it 6.5 out of 10. So then do you give it a 13 out of 20?
You know what? I give it a 15 out of 20. How about that? 15 out of 20.
I don't understand
Just
your methods,
go with
but
it.
I'll accept it.
Accept
Okay.
it. Just accept it.
8 out of 20.
Whoa.
I'll give it a 13 out of 20.
Okay. Do you have your rankings of Star Wars?
So that's, for me, that's 2 out of 5.
That's, yeah. You gave it a 2. I gave it a, what, 3.5?
Well, 13 out of 20 would probably be like, I don't know, 4.5 out of 5 for me if we're doing 5s.
Yeah, I give it like
but
a
at
4
10s, it would be like, I don't know, 3
Yeah.
out of 10.
3 out of 5. 4 out of
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know, man. Look, it's 2 hours in. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
We only reviewed one movie.
I know.
Yeah.
But
But
it's a long
it's
review.
It's an important one.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to? Do you
Well,
want me to give you a real
Rankings?
out of
rankings.
out of 5?
No,
Outs-
no, you're
Okay, just forget it.
no, you did no. Your score is your score, and it is yours alone.
Okay.
And thank you for sharing.
Okay, let's give our rankings, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go Empire.
And this, are we counting Rogue One?
I don't think I included it in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Empire, New Hope. I think I gave Force Awakens last time.
Yeah.
Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace.
Yeah. I think mine is Empire, New Hope, and then Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi. Actually, I don't know. I think I might like this one more
Dude,
than Return of the Jedi.
I'm-
I think I'm going to go Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi, and then
All three
3, 1,
prequels.
2.
You know, it's funny because that's why I was kind of debating too. Last Jedi and Return of the Jedi. I could flip those two around.
Right. I was way more entertained by The Last Jedi than
Yeah,
Return of the Jedi.
I agree. but there's certain scenes like the Jabba palace scene.
Yeah,
like,
there are way
Yeah.
more.
yeah.
But at the same time, this had, if you're judging both by their highs, I think this had more highs for me at least with the action beats.
So, yeah. I have Empire, New Hope, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. And it's a
You have Revenge of the Sith below Attack of the Clones?
no, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Let's
right.
see. Twitter questions?
Yeah, we got some
Do
Twitter
we
questions.
Have some? And you know what, guys? We are free from Star Wars.
Thank God for a year.
This is really like just what's the word? What's the word I'm looking
Freeing?
for? Freeing. What's the other
Cathartic?
word for that?
Cathartic.
So it's with an R.
Rejuvenating?
Rejuvenating, maybe.
I don't know.
Rehabilitating, maybe.
I don't know.
Retrain my mind.
I don't
want
wanna
to
think about Star Wars ever again.
I'm ready to talk about different
Let's
movies.
get them titty cues.
Lexi asked, "What's your favorite sports movie?" Thank you.
My favorite sports movie is boy. I don't know. The Sandlot has a big connection to me from just like childhood, but it's probably not the best. I really enjoy Major
It's
League.
favorite, not best.
Yeah. I really
Yeah.
enjoy Major
Yeah.
League. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Rocky.
Rocky's really good.
Rocky's a great movie.
Rocky 4 gets me more pumped than like any
Yeah,
movie
yeah. It's
ever.
I think I love the Rocky franchise. Just watching it devolve from like
Yeah.
a drama about a boxer to a
To
pump him up,
American
beat 'em up.
propaganda.
to Rocky
Yeah.
single-handedly ending the Cold War.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Creed is also very good.
It's a really good
Creed's
movie.
great.
Favorite sports movie?
Space Jam.
Yeah. Space Jam. I mean, I'm like thinking like Varsity Blues,
Okay.
Waterboy, Happy Gilmore. More of the comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Crystal Ball asks, compare and contrast this movie to all the other movies. She's talking about Star Wars.
To all the other Star
all the
Wars
other
movies?
One by one?
movies. Just all the movies. So like compare this to like, I don't know, basketball.
So all the other Star Wars movies, I would say this.
This has less basketball,
Less
Yeah.
basketball.
less huge dicks.
Mm-hmm. What about Swingers? Compare it to Swingers.
It's pretty much it's exactly the same as Swingers.
Yeah, it's very similar to
Very
that movie,
similar.
which I've seen. It's called Swingers.
Crystal Ball says, "Is this a Star Wars movie? I mean, really, is it?" I'd say it's a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I think
Star
it
Wars
certainly is a Star Wars movie, but I do get this is a Star Wars movie that is kind of actively against
Yes.
people who enjoyed Star Wars.
Yeah.
That feels too
And
harsh.
to the previous question, I don't want people to feel like we're shutting them down. I think we kind of accurately or like adequately compared it to other movies
Yeah.
in our discussion, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm with you. I think it was subverting all these expectations, which, I mean, you have those Twitter reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I think it diverted,
People are so upset, and I mean, I can't judge anybody. I don't want anyone to judge me for the things I choose to be passionate about. But people saying they're crying about this movie and being so disappointed. Like, you have every right to think this is a bad movie and like, saying like, this is something I care about, but to be so angered by it is, it's crazy. Like, I just can't imagine myself investing so much into any franchise,
Right.
really.
Crystal Ball says, "How much Jedi would a Jedi? Never mind." Just Crystal Ball also asks, "How much money would it take for you to never watch another Star Wars movie?" How much,
Ooh.
like,
So
no money. Or,
So
How much money?
another additional movie?
yeah. How much money would it take you to never watch another Star Wars movie ever again?
Probably not that much.
No, not
yeah,
that much.
$100. I would ask for 100. And
I mean, can you like look
I'm
up what happened?
I'm an easy negotiator, so you offer me anything over 50, and I'll
All
say
right.
I won.
Okay.
I feel like you would miss out culturally.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's not like people are gonna go around quoting The Last Jedi among my friends.
Yeah. Here's a question though. Are you allowed to tell people when they razz you about not seeing the new Star Wars movie? Are you able to say, "Well, I got paid to not see
You
these"?
can
I
say
accepted $1,000 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. So
Never
if
seen
that's the
one.
case, anything.
Anything. Money can buy anything. JP or Jack Rowe Paulus asks, concerning Last Jedi, after watching it, what was the point?
What was the point of The Last Jedi? I think it's to put. They wanted to kind of really move along Kylo Ren's character and put him in the point where he is like
number one bad
number
boy.
one
Yeah.
bad guy.
Yeah. And to give Rey, make her the Jedi, make her a Jedi
Yeah.
finally. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that as far as the Resistance, I don't know what the point was, but yeah.
And
Kinda
introduce new Force powers.
yeah, merchandising.
Yeah.
That's always my go-to answer.
It made
Spaceballs.
$220 million. So
Merchandising. Spaceballs, the coloring book. Spaceballs, the lunchbox. Okay. Anyway. The,
is that all?
no, we got that's all for Twitter, but we got some Amazon.
Wait, Leslie
reviews.
didn't.
She said yeah. Oh, Leslie didn't respond with anything. What did Leslie?
I just figured Leslie would have asked something. I'm gonna give her a hard
Leslie did not ask anything.
time. So I didn't. I had the idea of sharing some Amazon reviews, but honestly, I don't want to come off like I'm making fun of people
Okay.
for crying over a movie. So I will say, if you saw the movie and you liked it, or if you're like me and you thought it was okay, and you are kind of curious as far as what could make someone so invested in a franchise, go to IMDb, read some of the 1-star reviews. It's
They're
an
always
interesting look into the life of somebody else who is #1 Star Wars fan.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. This has been a journey. This is our final podcast ever.
Yeah.
We're done.
It's good knowing you.
It was great.
I exhausted all my energy, and now I'm just going to disappear into the ether.
Yes, I think we all are. Yeah, that's Super FilmsCast 64 for this week. Follow me at CreaTreeVids on Twitter. Follow Spencer at Coach Chucky and Adam at the Fullerton. Well, anything coming up? Hey, you got something coming up, Spencer.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the comedy jam on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is that what
man.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, come to Dallas Comedy House. I've done improv comedy at a jam, stand up, kind of open mic style, like twice before. Gonna do it again this Tuesday. Dallas Comedy House, Main Street, Deep Ellum, 8:00 Tuesday night. See you there.
Yeah, see you there. Adam, congratulations on winning Best Comedian Ever.
That is the title they bestowed upon me.
Yeah, you're the funniest guy I know.
Oh,
Now. It
I
wasn't
don't
like
think
that
that's
2
true.
days ago, but now.
Now it's I have the proof.
Yeah, you got the proof. It's like in Wizard of Oz. He gets a contract, has to.
Yeah?
Yeah. Has to be smart.
I do have
But you said the
What-
Wizard of Claus?
Yeah,
what
that's I said.
what movie are we going to do next week, guys?
What movie do you want to do?
I think we should do Shape of Water.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm down for
with you.
Shape
I'm with
of
you on
Water.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody who's still listening to this and still enjoys listening to us, go ahead, watch Shape of Water, and we'll
Yeah.
have a less lengthy discussion about it.
Yes, much less.
Much
and
less.
maybe we'll do a Christmas movie like the Santa Claus or something coming up. And then we got our awards.
Yeah, our year-end awards.
Is
Yeah.
that next week as well?
Yeah, it probably should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Well, thanks again for listening. Please leave a comment. Please like this on iTunes and tell us what you think. Let us know you exist. Thanks again for listening, and may the Force be with you. God, I hate
The end.
myself.